Yo, what's going on? It's your dog Art Man Boxing, and I'm back with another boxing conversation. And I already got my people up in here, Bomb Squad, and that's for life. So hit the like button. Payday. You want payday? Hey, hell yeah, I want a payday for sure. Let me get one of them Canelo fights. How do I join the sweepstakes? Can I fight Rocky Fielding for a automatic title shot against Canelo? I'll take that, most definitely. I probably fuck around and win that shit. But salute to my boy D Hive. Man, what is today? Tuesday? Shit, I'm off tomorrow, so let's cook all night. I ain't tripping. I'm out here working on some artwork right now, so working on my next cover photo. No, my next profile picture. That's what I'm working on right now. Took a break for some client work. Now I'm just kicking it. But this is something I want to get off my chest, man, because I'm feeling a certain type of way. I was cool on old media for a little while, but now I got to pick it back up because they violated. They violated. They keep on violating. They keep on playing with our emotions and our intelligence. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not feeling that shit. I'm not feeling that shit one bit. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, man. I ain't feeling no media, man. Said about to go get some food, but I'll be back in a few. Yeah, hell yeah. Say salute art, man. Boxing art, real shit. I'm feeling a certain type of way, man, because I came across an article. You know, when after a fight, you kind of want to check out the news to see what's popping when it comes to like basically what just happened, what the great fights we just witnessed. We're going to hear somebody do a little recap. So you go out here checking for the news, right? And you go to ESPN. I don't know. I'm just a boxing fan, sports fan. So I go to ESPN, right? And I'm like, okay, we just had some great boxing matches. We had Devin Haney, we had Gervonta Davis versus Cruz, Haney versus Jojo Diaz. So we just kick it, you know what I'm saying? So I go out and I just take a look and I see an article. Written by the piece of shit himself, Mike Coppinger. Hold on, y'all. Let me show y'all this shit right here. So, let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. So I go to the article. It says after Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney failed to produce a spectacular boxing results, what comes next at lightweight? Hold on, yo. Y'all look. It's just so y'all know. It was written by the Snake himself, Mike Cappinger. He says after Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney failed to produce a spectacular boxing results, what comes next at lightweight? Man, this motherfucker is full of shit, ain't he? He's full of shit, ain't he? That shit pissed me all the way off. Like, bro, I'm like, nigga, you are so lucky. You are so lucky you blocked me on Twitter, bro. But the family ate him up already, so I ain't really tripping. But I gotta spit my piece on that, man. For those who don't know, Mike Cappinger is a white American boxing writer, sports analyst or whatever. And he works for ESPN. And he used to work for The Athletic. This guy has an extensive history of anti-black fighter statements. And yeah, I'm gonna put the jacket on him. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck. That's why. This guy is such a snake that he, during the whole Wilder Fury saga, he DMs me because he knows I'm a real Wilder supporter, right? He DMs me and he goes in my inbox and he start asking me questions about Wilder and the gloves. Are they gonna be expecting the gloves? And is he was making remarks like I always liked Wilder, da 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 da. Just crazy shit like this. And this is the guy that's writing articles about black fighters. A guy that's already shown that he's a snake. He goes out to be in my inbox and do all this and then go on ESPN and just completely shit on Wilder. So let's just let you know that type of character he has. Shady, snake like character. A lot of people call him Mike Cappinger. Biased articles, biased articles against black fighters, disgusting, disgusting. And to be honest, they're making it real hard for the "it's not about race" crowd because they can't even defend the shit. They like, yeah, I mean, I get it. We don't like black fighters, but goddamn, are you really gonna say the fight wasn't spectacular? Are you gonna say that you wasn't impressed? Really, dude? Really? You gonna sit here and lie like this and say you wasn't impressed? All right, bet. Whatever. Whatever. And then, but some of my folks and we believe that's really setting up the play to make Kambosos versus Lomachenko. Because we all know Lomachenko, he's a skillful fighter and he is what they call media's favorite. Even though he's not putting asses in seats like Gervonta Davis, his mere skin complexion is what they love. They don't care if you are a knockout artist. They don't care if you are a boxing wizard, defensive wizard. As long as you're a black boxer in the Negro community, you will always be hated, man, by old media. These dudes supposed to be the next PV stars and wasn't on that level. I only pay for Wilder fights. These cats ain't worth my bread. Shit, they worth my bread. Keep on stepping it up. They gonna be worth my bread for sure. I always spend money on Gervonta Davis fights. I don't hesitate to do it. Not one bit. Hesitation's not even on my mind one bit when it comes to that. Because I support Gervonta Davis where he come from. I like that man. I don't want to see him back on the streets, so I'd rather see him on top. So I support. He ain't out here saying all lives matter and things like what you call again, George Floyd deserve or whatever. He ain't out here saying shit like that. He out here repping the culture and he's doing it well. So I got a little entertainment budget, and that's what I spent it on a good fight. I ain't mad at it. And I knew the Cruz fight was going to be somewhat of that, but I thought he was going to knock him out. But we didn't think he was going to have a messed up hand. But to say the fight wasn't spectacular and they wasn't spectacular, it's just like, come on now. I get it. It wasn't a knockout. But to try to undermine and make it seem like these guys ain't shit based off that is bullshit. It was a tough fight. I like that. I like seeing fighters that I respect have tough fights where they have to show me something, where they show me something different. Oh, you show me that you can box with one hand. You show me that even if you hurt, you can weather the storm. Devin Haney showed me that he do got a chin. He could take some punches. He could take some punches. Yeah, he not a knockout artist, but that wasn't what I expect. I didn't expect to watch a Devin Haney knockout. Yeah, I thought he was gonna knock him out with the Air Forces, but that was just mere just joking around. I didn't have the real thought in my head that yeah, he's for sure gonna stop him. Nah. But would I like to see a stoppage? Of course, because this is boxing. I love that type of shit. But I'm a fan of the sweet science as well. And to see Devin Haney look well out there, look spectacular in my eyes, that's an A+, especially doing it to JoJo Diaz. Only person that did that to JoJo Diaz before was Gary Russell Jr. And that was a while ago. So to see him beat his mandatory like that, it made me have high hopes for the guys. And hopefully one day in the future, these guys cross path in the ring. I would love to see that. And they'll get my money in. I don't care if Devin versus Tank was $200, I'll pay for that shit. Pay-per-view. Because I support that type of shit. I support that over motherfucking Teofimo Lopez. Straight up. So as the smartest sports YouTuber, I'm here to give you some help on your boxing knowledge. You seem to really need it. Nah, I don't even know who the fuck you are, but notice that you on my page, motherfucker. Tank was moving, looking real good. He had all that energy for 12 rounds. That's dangerous. With one hand. With one hand. He beat a pressure fighter with one hand. Come on, bro. He beat a pressure fighter with one hand. Hold on. Let me cook. Let me cook because I already see we got a couple spectators in the building. Hold on. Let me hold on. Let me get my shit together. I'll be right back, y'all. Give me 1 second, y'all. I love what I do, man. I love this shit. I love this boxing shit, man. Yeah, I love it. And I love how these guys keep me talking and keep the energy going because I gotta speak out on this bullshit. Hold on. I bet. Yeah. Everybody go to artmanapparel.com to get some of the flyest boxing merch. If you're looking for real artistic merch, shit that lasts a lifetime, go ahead shop artmanapparel.com. Right now I got my Gervonta and Floyd the GOAT season hoodie. Y'all can get that on my website right now, artmanapparel.com. But anyways, back to my dude Gervonta Davis, man, and Devin Haney. Um, old media hating on these guys, man. And I get it. It's because I honestly believe that Top Rank or Bob Arum controls media when it comes to boxing. Because if you notice in their articles, their fighters get praise. Their fighters get the sympathy treatment. Following Teofimo's defeat, they're posting articles about how his life was almost taken and how a doctor claimed that if it wasn't for this, he will be dead. And that's really the reason why he lost to George Kambosos, the 13-1 underdog. Not because the better man won that night. No, it's because he didn't have any air in his lungs. Yeah, they said the man didn't have any fucking air in his lungs, yo. So you mean to tell me when he was out here snatching the mic, telling the world that he won the fight, fucking uh 11 rounds to fucking 2. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have air in his lungs then. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing game, dude. And I know people with asthma for real. And asthma is not something that you lie about or joke about. That shit's serious. So I don't like that shit, man. And then they go out to say that Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis didn't look spectacular. If bro, what did Teofimo look like if Devin Haney didn't win spectacular? Come on, bro. Let me look at these shit. He said he's going to close the door so his mom won't hear him, y'all. Motherfucker, I live on my own. I pay my own bills, nigga. I put food in my own fridge. What the fuck you talking about? Shout out to my mom, though. Said Cruz was hitting hard, tucked his chin in well. Oh my lord. And Cruz, credit to Cruz, man. That's what you call real life tough warrior right there. Because he had the game plan. With Gervontaa Davis, he let it rip. He said, he threw that uppercut. Cruz said, motherfucker had that shit glued to his face. He said, hell no, you not hit me with that uppercut like Leo. Nah, you ain't finna do me like the last Mexican. Hey, that's what Cruz said. He said, you ain't gonna do me like the last Mexican, cuz I seen the film. I watched the fight. And shout out to Cruz. He took that, man. He did that shit well. And he ended up blocking that shit. And I think by him blocking that is what caused Gervonta Davis' arm to fucking fuck up, because when he hit him with that shit, immediately Davis backed up like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, in boxing, man, when it comes to the sport, dude, our bodies are not meant to be doing stuff like this. Our body's not meant to take punishment or cause punishment on the next man with our fist. So a hand injury, it happens. It happens a lot in this sport. I just hope it doesn't affect Gervonta Davis for the rest of his career, because that is his bread and butter, that power. But he did show us he has great boxing ability. But for the first time, though, for the first time today, on Sunday, I seen Gervonta's body was red. Them body shots was sticking him. You know why? You want to know why? Go watch that film. That man's body was red, man. I haven't seen Gervonta's sides look like that probably ever. And I was like, yo, I said, I know this man ain't touching them up like that. But dude had that pressure on him. Man, it takes a lot. It takes a lot for you to fight a pressure fighter with one hand like that. Said Davis didn't lose. I don't know what you're talking about. Cambosos told us before the fight he was gonna have an air problem with that hookah. Yeah, with that hookah. Speaking of, let me spark my shit up. But yeah, that shit's funny. Like, you got asthma problems that you out here smoking hookah, nigga? Is that what we doing here? Is that what we doing here, y'all? He got asthma, but he out here smoking hookah, man. Pass me the motherfucking hookah, man. I fuck with George Cambosos, but I want y'all to know, man, it's Team USA on this side. George Campbell. Real shit. I fuck with George Cambosos, but George, you ain't finna be out here talking that shit like you the GOAT out here, nigga. Yeah, I support you to beat Tio, but that's Tio, nigga. I gotta remind you, it's Team USA on this side. I got Haney and Gervonta beating dude. And I don't think he wanna fight none of them. And media already setting up the track so he can do that type of shit, man. Media already doing that type of shit. They already know, bro. I don't give a fuck what you say. You can write a million articles. You can say Gervonta didn't look spectacular. Haney da 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 da. But you ain't gonna say that fucking George Cambosos will beat Haney or Tank. They'll get that man an unspectacular ass whooping. Send that man right back down under. And I like George Cambosos, but he ain't fucking with my niggas. He ain't fucking with none of my niggas. Not in front of my niggas. Hell nah. Nah, real shit. He ain't fucking with my niggas. Devin Haney and motherfucking Gervonta Davis. He's not fucking with him, bro. He's not. He's not. Gervonta Davis will knock his ass out. Devin Haney will box circles around this dude. I'm telling you. And they know that shit. That's why if he fights Haney, he would try to make that motherfucker go all the way to Australia. So hopefully he can get some type of weirdo motherfucking scorecards like Jeff Horn. did Manny Pacquiao. I don't even trust that shit. Why the fuck would anybody even go to Australia right now? All types of fucking restrictions going on in Australia. They got people up in here, quarantine jails and shit. You touch down, you test positive, you gotta stay there for umpteen weeks, nigga. Hell no. Y'all got some weirdo shit going on in Australia. And I fuck with a couple of people out there in Australia. I got a couple supporters in Australia, but we ain't going out there to Australia to fight. It just don't make no sense money wise, boxing wise. It doesn't make any sense. Y'all got all types of shit going on. Nigga go and sit. Somebody go to Australia. You sit in the stands to watch Devin Haney fight. Motherfucking camel spider gonna jump on your motherfucking neck. You know what I'm saying? You go to the bathroom, try to take a shit. A big ass snake gonna come out that motherfucker. Man, I be seeing the type of animals y'all got inside Australia, man. All types of crazy shit, man. Hell no. And they're gonna use that excuse. They're gonna use that excuse on why they should avoid Devin Haney because Devin don't go to Australia. I mean, who the fuck want to go there, especially during fucking COVID times, man? Real shit. Said motherfuckers used to make videos saying Gervonta hit harder than Wilder. I ain't never said that, but he does hit hard. And if anybody say he don't hit hard because what? Two people went the distance with him. You got to be a fucking idiot to say that. Said, how is it living in the suburbs while you keep it? Man, you funny as hell. I don't live in the suburbs. I live downtown though. Downtown in the city. Said I had to pop up to show Art best support. Said, hold on. He said I had to pop up to show support for the brother Art, man. Hell yeah, man. Shout out to you, man. Day one supporter. Real shit. I'm over here laughing because I laugh when people think that they know me when they really don't. Just because you can see me and you can hear me articulate myself well, and I ain't out here sounding real crazy, real dumb or anything like that. Don't get it twisted. I am from the streets. I'm just educated, nigga. Said, man, Cambosis is food. I don't know who get him first. My thing is, look, I even got Lomachenko beating Cambosis. They all know these dudes can beat Cambosis, dude. Cambosis really not that guy like that. He cool for what he did to Tio, but he's not that guy like that when it comes to certain styles matchups. You put him in there with a Devin Haney style, I don't care if y'all say it's boring or not, but George Cambosis ain't leaving with them belts at the end of the night. He gonna lose just off activity and accuracy alone. What are you talking about? Devin Haney showed us, and that's what I don't like about that stupid ass article. Because out of the great performance, the great timing, great speed and reflex Devin Haney had, what they want to talk about is fucking him getting hit with two weak ass left hooks. Did the left hook have his ass leaking all over the place? Motherfucking Teofimo Lopez out here looking like motherfucking Badu Jack and shit. Blood dripping off his face onto the damn ring, all on George Cambosis' shorts. And you want to talk about how Devin Haney got hit with two punches? And you know what it is? You know what it is, y'all? They expect nothing but the best from us. So if we not out here demolishing everything, they say, oh, you're not one of the goods. They indirectly tell us our fighters are very good. So I can't really be too bad because it's like, bro, I can read that shit. But just don't be out here trying to fool the casuals. Don't be out here trying to fool the casuals, trying to make it seem like George Cambosis is the next best thing, and Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis ain't shit. Like, dude, these niggas is the top dogs. Just because he beat up on the former prospect of the year, don't make this guy the fucking best thing out here. He's still not the best lightweight. Fuck them politics. We do the eye test around here. We do the style test around here. Stylistically, he's getting his ass kicked by Lomachenko, Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis. Just because you he whooped on a dude suffering from motherfucking mental issues and motherfucking suffering heartbreaks and shit because he just got divorced. You know what I'm saying? Just because you whooped on that dude, that don't mean you whooping on these brothers over here. Straight up. Said I mean Cambosis almost got robbed in the US. Yeah, he would have taken Devin Haney to the fucking uh down under so he can rob his ass blind. Said Long would be very high risk, low reward for anybody right now. I see why Teofimo didn't want to fight him again. Saying Cambosis is the man to prove it otherwise, I say he's the goods for what he did to Teofimo Lopez. But when you're saying that in comparison to Haney and Gervonta Davis, I don't think so. Just because he collected all those belts from one person does not mean he's better than Gervonta Davis and Haney. Stylistically, you can already tell that Gervonta Davis will give that guy hella problems. Stylistically, you can tell Haney will give him hella problems. Haney don't gotta knock him out to win that fight, to leave with them belts. Y'all know that. That man shoulder rolling, hitting you with the jab up top, sticking you to the body, weave back before you even get your punch off, and he already out the window. I mean, he already out the way. Stop playing with him. Devin Haney shoulder rolling, bounce back with a motherfucking uppercut. Y'all say all you want. Say all you want. When Diaz left that fight, he didn't leave that fight looking like he wasn't in no fight. He left that fight looking like he got into a fight. I was swollen in the motherfucker on the other side. Stop playing games, dude. My brother D Hive, what's going on, man?
What's going on? How you doing?
Shit, I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling good, but I just be laughing at like old media still trying to run this fucking game like it's fucking 1967 or something.
Yeah. I really don't understand. I mean, anytime like these are all the fighters that everybody says ain't shit anyway. So anytime these dudes don't perform in a superhuman fashion, I'm not sure why it makes the news. They ain't shit, right? Like everyone always says, Tank ain't shit, Haney ain't shit, the Charlos ain't shit. So if they ain't shit, why are we even talking about them? Why are motherfuckers are really concerned about who dudes like Michael Hunter next opponent was over like Canelo and Triple G? Like these are all the fighters that y'all already say ain't shit and ain't really worth mentioning. So why are they always in front page news? Why is Devin Haney constantly forcing people to change the political realities of boxing? I don't understand. Now look, I'll say this. I've drawn some hate recently from my criticism. I don't want to say criticism, but my honest assessment of Tank's performance. He had an off night, and I recall saying on this channel that I'm worried about Tank because this is the first time he's had to face an opponent that's been in the position he's always in, having to get in on the inside. And as we saw, trying to get a signature punch off, he had problems. Now he won the fight. There's no question he won the fight. He outboxed Cruz with one hand because let's face it, Cruz, as far as boxing ability, doesn't really have a discernible jab, and really, isn't known for boxing. He's known for slugging. But the fact of the matter is, the man's allowed to have an off night. He's allowed an off night. It was a short notice replacement, something he hadn't trained for. So, I mean, shit, man, get off his ass. But personally, I think that Haney performed admirably. And it's funny because with all the punches that he took, he wasn't even wobbled like he was in the Linares fight, but people are saying that this is a worse performance. I'm like, I don't even understand. I really don't. I don't understand how this is the worst
Let
performance.
me pull up this article real quick. I'm gonna read it, man, by Mike Cappinger of ESPN. Okay, I'm gonna start from right here. It says, despite a less than dominant performance, Davis and team surrounding him projected absolute confidence about Davis standing in lightweight hierarchy. I feel as though I am the best at 135, Davis said. None of them guys can beat me. And then Mike Coppinger replies, but time will tell. Davis had an opportunity to separate himself from the pack this weekend, but he fell short of something to absolute. Did you hear that shit? He said Davis had an opportunity to separate himself from the pack this weekend, but he fell short of something so absolute.
I don't
So did Devin Haney.
I
This
don't
is what Mike
understand.
Coppinger wrote, bro.
I don't understand.
Bro,
He said that Cruz wasn't shit either. So what was going to be the separation? He said that Cruz was garbage. They all said that Cruz was a nobody, was a cherry pick. So where would
these
the separation come from?
I feel though no, he said Davis had an opportunity to separate himself from the pack this weekend, but he fell short on something so absolute. So did Devin Haney. On Saturday, Haney outpoint Joseph Diaz Jr., but Haney was forced to survive some rocky moments late in the fight and ate an unsettling amount of power left hooks.
Wow. Here's a fun fact for everybody. Here's a fun fact, real quick. In his last two fights out of 24 rounds, Haney has only been outlanded collectively in 24 rounds in five of those rounds. Only five of those rounds out of the last 24 has Haney ever been outlanded. He wasn't even wobbled.
Hold on, let me repeat this shit. Shout out to brother Dirk Banks, but check this out. He said, man, on Saturday, Haney outpointed Joseph Diaz Jr., but Haney was forced to survive some rocky moments late in the fight and ate some unsettling amount of power left hands. Through both nights, George Kambosos Jr. sat ringside, intently scouting out the competition. He is less than 2 weeks removed from the shocking the world in his decision victory over Teofimo Lopez to capture all of Lopez light world championships.
It's crazy.
And this motherfucker got a job. If I was this bad at my job, you know how quick they would fire my black ass? That's the whole reason I moved. One of the whole reasons I moved to the goddamn East Coast to be close to Washington, D.C. was this goddamn job. Do you know if I actually wrote this type of shit on reports with the horrid inaccuracies, what kind of deep shit I'd be in government-wise? My God. My God.
Imagine you never watched the Joseph Diaz fight and you're just like, let me just read on it. And you read this shit. You would say, oh my God. Damn, Devin. You was getting rocked with left hands all night? And you got a decision. Was it a robbery?
And that same dude forgot who Jojo Diaz was, because I remember when Jojo Diaz was getting ready to fight Gary Russell Jr., oh, he was the next best thing since sliced bread. He takes the L there, hasn't lost since, and all of a sudden, it's like Haney is fighting some dude. No, this is still Jojo fucking Diaz.
Did
Like
you forget it's Jojo Diaz?
all of a
A
sudden, he
guy
goes,
that's more seasoned than motherfucking Devin? A guy that's what, an Olympian? Isn't he Olympian?
I believe he was on the same team as Caleb Plant. That's why he was wishing Caleb Plant well wishes. But another thing I also want to get to, this man Teofimo Lopez just lost horribly lost, got his ass whooped by a guy that was one spot removed from Cruz in the IBF. And they talking about, oh, he had air in his lungs. Nigga, you supposed to have air in your lungs. The fuck is we talking about? What's next? They're gonna say, "Oh, Teofimo lost because he had gas in his ass." Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about here, bro? The nigga got beat up by a guy that was literally one spot removed from Cruz, and we talk about who had a lackluster performance. This nigga lost his ass. He lost his boxing credibility. He lost his wife. He lost his championship belt, his spot, his bread, his shine. This man lost everything to a nigga removed once from Cruz. And we talking about Haney and Tank winning fights, but they look like garbage? Man. All right. Man. Oh my God.
Right.
Man, I post that shit and I tagged Jake Donovan from Boxing Scene so he could just see it. And I guess motherfuckers thought that he wrote it. This motherfucker had to quickly denounce that shit. Said, hell no, that wasn't me. Because I'm like, bro, this just, it's fucking horrific. You really going to sit here and say, it would, bro, it's just like, wow. Really? Really, dude? You don't fuck with them that much? And then you seen what the lad Snake said on Twitter. Cruz won the fight.
I've been not like them.
Bro, I'm telling you, even the people who generally don't fuck with black people went on that shit was like, bro, I don't know more. You're tripping. You're fucking tripping, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
That's why he works at the Zone. He's open with it. He just, like I said, he's mad because Vernon Forrest whooped his ass, and then Danny Jacobs knocked his ass out back to back toward the end of his career. And then Moore was like, "Fuck it, man. I ain't got the goods. I better just hang this shit." Why do you think he retired so young? Because the nigga was garbage, and he didn't want to come out sounding like the Mexican Evander Holyfield and shit.
And then look, and then after he posts that shit, he was getting all this heat. He go post, Roy Jones was my trainer's favorite fighter. He trained us in unorthodox ways because of Jones Jr. We love watching Roy's box, rap, talk, walk to the ring, everything. Roy Jones was really Superman. And I said, hey guys, I'm not racist. I have black friends. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that shit.
Roy Jones was the man. He was like a second father to me. Like, you've already said too much garbage to come back with some damn Roy Jones Jr.
You could always tell by his commentating that he didn't fuck with black people. He was always biased towards the Latin fighter or Mexican fighter.
And my thing is, you could be biased, but at least keep it real. Keep it real. Like, say what actually happened. Like, the day Devin Haney get his ass whooped, I'm going to be like, shit. My nigga got his ass whooped. But it hasn't happened yet. Like, the same with Tank. The day Tank get his ass whooped, I'm like, damn. Tank got his ass whooped. Fuck.
Right.
But it hasn't happened yet. I still support Tank and Haney, but they haven't been beat up yet. It hasn't happened.
Right.
But you know who been beat up before? Lomachenko and Richard Comey. And when Lomachenko beat Richard Comey, they're gonna say, "Damn, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That was so spectacular. Impressive.
Best fighter in the world.
Best fighter in the fucking world. That was just a hiccup against Tio. See?
That ain't happened. What's his name? Salito ain't happened.
Yeah.
But here you have motherfucker Gervontaa Davis and Haney fighting niggas out the top 10 who never been knocked out or stopped. Oh, that's not impressive.
Hey,
who got like
fuck out of here, man.
Right. Hey, who would y'all say look better against Pedraza, Tank or Loma?
Oh my god,
bro, Tank, of course.
Right.
Lomachenko had panda eyes. Nigga was struggling.
Of course.
I
still remember watching the Blood, Sweat, and Tears little mini series with Teofimo versus Loma, and they're talking about and Lomachenko fight versus Pedraza. Pedraza, the opponent, only landed 12% of his punches. And I'm like, damn, boy, he must got some pop on them damn punches, boy.
Right.
Straight up.
Yeah,
and I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. It's like, the media, it caters to a certain folk. Certain folks get that special type of oomph in the writing, man. And it's so blatant.
Yeah, I think the worst was Merchant. You remember after Wilder, the first fight is like, is this the end of the black heavyweight champion? Like,
oh my god.
Oh my fucking god.
I thought it wasn't about race and color, guys. Why can't we just be heavyweight? Why isn't Wilder American? Right. Why isn't Wilder an American boxer? Why isn't Wilder an American heavyweight champion or former heavyweight champion? I don't understand. Why can't Wilder be American? Why he gotta be all extra?
They treat black fighters like they fight for like or they fight for like a different country or something. Like, let
Yeah,
me root for this Russian real quick.
Yeah, like you should have heard all like it's funny because even in fights where you think is close, it's not like if you go back and watch Triple G versus Jacobs,
Yeah,
motherfuckers are like Triple G, Triple. I'm like,
exactly.
is this not New York?
and then when
No,
Triple G was getting his ass tagged up, it was, stuff
Silent.
happened, man.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, bro, is this not New York? Like people cheering for Canelo. I know a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people in real life and online simply say they like Canelo and what he's doing just to avoid fucking being attacked by cult members that are similar to Hitler Youth. Like that I get. Like no, for real, that they bear striking similarities. But no, that I understand. But when you talking about Triple G, I'm like Triple G. This nigga's put in not an ounce of work. He fought two people and barely got the dubs, and one of them he straight up lost. Like the first Canelo fight, all right, and you putting in work. But the second Canelo fight, he got on your ass. That's just what it is. Like some people say he won both. I'm like, I disagree. The first one, yeah, he beat him clean. I thought the second one, no, Canelo got on his ass.
Yeah.
And it's just craziness. Like I said, Lomachenko, Butayev, Stanionis, all these motherfuckers can become overnight superstars. And oh, speaking of Stanionis, you know what was funny? Everyone that was hyped on Stanionis all of a sudden said he struggled against Delorme, and many people thought he lost. And you
Yeah.
know what their excuse was for that?
Why?
He broke his fucking hand.
Oh wow.
Yep, I remember that shit.
He broke his fucking hand, which is why he looks so horrible against Delorme. And keep in mind, this is a Delorme that had like a string of losses already, albeit to like Crawford and some and like Jamal James and some top people. But their excuse for why he looked like garbage was, oh, he had a hand injury before the fight. And I'm like, how fucking quickly the goddamn tables turn. But Tank can't use that. Tank can't use that.
Nope.
Hell no, you can't use that.
Yeah, I'm just like, ain't that a bitch? Fucking no, what's his name? Stanionis hurts his hand. And keep in mind, I don't even believe Stanionis is garbage.
No,
Tank, I know. Yeah, Tank. I know had issues beforehand, and that's cool. And when he fucking fractured his hand on Cruz's goddamn guard, yeah, I understand that happens. And Tank is allowed to have an off night. He had an off night. He had to adjust to an opponent he had never fought before. He looked off. It's cool, but he still won.
right.
But Stanionis didn't even produce any receipts on his garbage. He just like, oh yeah, my hand was broke. He didn't even say that before or after the fight.
If
He was just
TL,
like,
yeah, if TL breaks his hand, his power hand, how you think he gonna make adjustments? Because we seen in that Cambosis fight, he don't know how to fight any other way than just counter punch, power. He's basically he has no skills. He can't jab.
He looking like I told niggas.
Yeah,
He looked like a poor man version of Tank in them.
right.
Like he tried, like you can tell he learned some shit out of that gym too, but
Yeah,
he just didn't master it like how Gervonta and Haney got it going. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
his style is like it's the American style, but he just can't keep up with it.
and you know
Hey,
what's funny?
all right, man.
People,
What did I tell you before the fight? What was I telling everybody? What was I posting? I was telling people, I said, this Cruz guy, I said he's more skilled. He's tougher, he's more skilled and better opponent than both Raleigh and Ryan. I wasn't being facetious. I saw what I saw, and this is why I also tweeted that I could see this fight going the distance because of his low compact build, his turtle shell, and he's so low to the ground. You know what I mean? And people want to say Tank had the off night, whatever the case may be. He adjusted. He played the matador to the bull. He broke his hand. And if you look at, let me tell you, I was so impressed with Tank. The 12th round, he looked like he didn't even break a sweat. He was still boxing, moving, punching. And you know what? I want to do this. I'm going to send you the video of the 12th round. And I want you to, on your own time, I want you to do the punch that. I counted that Tank landed 18 punches But the punch stat said he only landed, I think it was 6 or 8. It was so ridiculous how much these punch. I counted, and I'm in the process of making a video showing the counts of each punch. So there's no, there's no, you can't say it wasn't happening. It didn't happen. Understand the people who do the punch stats are human. You know what I mean? They make errors. It's not like a computer is doing it. So I was so impressed with, as far as Tank taking it to the 12th round with one hand, no excuses. But I love the fact that his stamina was still on point like it was the first round. I'm telling you, brother.
He wasn't looking like Teofimo Lopez. Looked like he was dying in there.
I want this rematch. The reason why I want this rematch is because I saw Tank breaking him down, but not even with the uppercut. He was breaking him down with the right hooks. Did you
rematch?
Yeah, I don't want it.
Well, listen. Hear me out. Hear me out. Wait, fellas, hear me out. Not a rematch because I thought it was that close. I had Tank winning 8-4 myself. But the fact is, this is Tank's version of Maidana to Floyd. Oh, y'all think it was close? So let me go ahead and show y'all what's going to happen. That is the only reason why.
And the Mexicans fucking with Cruz right now. I ain't gonna lie. I know Floyd probably in his ear like, yo, I know you said hell no on television, but check this out.
But he didn't say hell no.
What's going to the numbers?
Listen, what he actually said, they said, do you think this deserves a rematch? And he was saying like, hell no. He was saying hell no, like I beat this boy. That was the context of it. When he was
it wasn't like hell nah, nigga. I ain't giving you
people
shit.
are misquoting that. This is what they do, brother. He asked him, he said, do you think this fight deserves a rematch? And Tank said, hell no. You know what I mean? And we all said, well, Tank beat him. It wasn't even close. It was competitive, but when you look at it, he was coming forward. Tank was outboxing, slipping, sliding, moving, jabbing, punching. But Tank's right hand, that right hook was doing damage, and I saw his body break it down. Now, if you go to the post-fight presser, Tank said it. Oh, if I fight him again, I'm going to knock him out. And if people want to see this, if the fans want to see it, this will. So I'm telling you, he would knock him out. And one last thing, one last thing, and I'm gonna pass the mic.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Tank is the type of fighter where it's like, fuck the belts. To us boxing fans, hardcore boxing fans, yeah, we think about belts and all that stuff. But Tank is a special fighter where it's like the fans don't care. You could be fighting for the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup belt, and the fans still gonna show up to watch Gervontaa Davis fight. And now they know who Cruz is. They'll most definitely come back.
But I told you, listen, I told you before the fight that Cruz was that guy. You know what I mean?
I seen Cruz before because he was on his undercard.
I never saw him. I have never saw him, right? So when I knew he was on undercard, I never paid attention to him. So when I watched this and I watched his style, I said, that's a little mini Mike Tyson. The way he goes in, that is a Mike Tyson. I'm telling you. I gave him the respect, even though he wasn't ranked like that on pound for pound. I don't need that. I don't go by your resume to get the eye test to let me know what you can do, what you're capable of doing, given the opportunity. Okay, so if they have that rematch, it will be millions. You know why? Because every Mexican will eat it up. If Floyd is that smart businessman that I know he is, they are going to have this Cruz rematch.
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm saying
Everybody
and them probably in the back, like, I know you feel like he don't deserve that shit, but hey, check this out, my guy. I don't know. People don't like that shit.
I don't want to see it again precisely because I know Cruz is just gonna go get wasted. Like, I honestly, with this first fight, I actually saw Cruz fight, and I actually saw people comparing to the Mexican Mike Tyson. So I was like, that's a lot of extras on it, but he's solid, but he can be outboxed, and especially when it comes up against Tank. Now, me personally, I didn't have this shit going the distance at all. I had Tank pretty much wasting.
Stopping him.
I had Tank pretty much wasting dude with that shot that he broke his hand on. And obviously, if that shot would have landed, we wouldn't even be having this conversation because Cruz would be in the hospital laid up somewhere talking about I don't think I own box no more like Santa Cruz. But but yeah, no, I mean Cruz is cool, but number one, I think we should. I think Tank and Mayweather and them, especially considering now Tank has a legitimate issue with his hand that's been exacerbated. I think they probably gonna let Cruz run around the division some, and I don't know, fight somebody's leftovers to get his name up some more before they do some sort of run back next year. And I think also they're probably trying to figure out what's going on with the WBA, because I think that the WBA is trying to strip Tank from the division. I think because
They
because they
actually said when Tank was holding 3 belts at the same time, they told him he had to pick the belt. They told him he had to drop a belt, and they said he has to pick one. He's going to have to drop the other belt after this next fight, because they said what they was going to do is make him mandatory, whether it's for 135 or 140. They was going to make him mandatory for the champion of that division. That was stated before this fight. So Tank, he's going to, he will only be holding one of those WBA World Championship belts within the next week or so. And that was the whole thing of him dropping to 130, and the deal with the WBA is they're going to force him to fight. They're going to not force him, but force the fight against the person who's holding that to fight Tank.
Right. And that's why I think they're trying to strip him, because number one, they know
said
that
he was going to do that. Well, he was going to drop it. I don't know, strip.
No, I mean they're trying to also strip him at 135. I'm saying that the WBA is conspiring against him because they know multiple things. They know that Mayweather and Tank and company are not going to go to no fucking Australia now. They know for a fact that Tank has, unfortunately, he has a trial date for some issues that he got into set for 2022. And also, most importantly, they know that Tank fights whoever he wants to. So I think that they're counting on Tank not being able to make this fight even via a purse bid, and they're just going to try to strip him to where he has to do something else in the division, like they're doing to fucking Ugas. So I think the WBA is pulling more garbage like that.
Tank holds too much power for them to try that, because obviously Tank, they don't care about the belts and they're marching their own path. Everybody wants to be in his arena. When you go to LA and you got the stars of stars, see, they thought it was just black people. They thought it was just ATL, Tank, the rappers. Everybody showed up. Wherever Tank go, there's nobody like that.
There were so many basketball niggas in that motherfucker. It's like, wow, like, dude. They buying up the best seats, nigga. All that, bro.
For 6 rounds, Tank, fought with a broken hand. And I saw Calvin. He said, I know what's going on. Calvin said, I don't want to hear it. He said, so Tank was letting them know his hand, but Tank still went out there. This is what champions do.
And then you got motherfucking guys like Mike Coppinger.
Did you see Montero?
Like it's not impressive, nigga. Fuck you.
Did you see Montero? Did you see this racist bastard Montero, man? This is why I want him to rematch Cruz, because this is the Maidana, the second Floyd Maidana fight. I'm telling you, listen. I live in Arizona. You guys know that, so I'm around Mexicans all the time. So I watched the fight with Mexicans, and they were people that were crying, brother. When Maidana lost the second fight to Floyd, they were crying. Not the second, but when he lost the first fight, they were crying, man. So yeah, the first fight. So my whole thing is, if he's well deserved. He earned it. He's a tough cookie. He is skillful, but guess what? If you watch him versus Tank, basically what he do to the other competition, he didn't do it. He didn't do the same things. You know what I mean? He was very hesitant because he was getting caught. Now, one of the criticism of Tank. Now I understand why this criticism. It's because he hurt his hand in camp. Because I'm thinking, why Tank is just playing the matador. I understand he's doing that, but he's fighting. Why don't he just go toe to toe with this guy? Why don't he back him up? He did it in spurts, but I know if Tank go in the offensive, he can get this guy out of there.
Because it was the point in time
he didn't want to get hit with anything.
I forgot what round it was. I believe it was either the 5th or the 6th round. Well, he just started going at him, and then next thing you know, after hurting him, he just started pulling back. He just started pulling back, and I'm like, oh shit, why he pulling back like that?
You know who I think his next opponent should be, though? I think his next opponent, because like I said, Cruz, they're gonna be busy next year. Cruz can chill until Tank say, he ready for all that. I think if it's not gonna be goofy ass Ryan Garcia, I think Tank's next opponent should be this William Zepeda they all talking about. They all real high on this William Zepeda, who's supposed to be this fast, slick southpaw. He's also Mexican, so that bread is pretty much in there. I think he should he should bring up this William Zepeda and see what he's talking about. Because I've seen William Zepeda fight. They're all super high, and I'm talking about he's really getting ready to be something. And I think that'll also be a good fight because that's someone that is a southpaw.
Do y'all think Tank is going to be considered the Mexican assassin or what?
He already is.
He's already that, my brother. He's following Floyd footsteps to a T. And the Mexicans, they love to hate him. There you got Mexicans who appreciate him, but then they have this thing where it's all about the La Raza. You know what I mean?
I know because so Nipsey Hussle is one of my favorite rappers, man, of all time. And I've been following his career for a very long time. So I'm following people he's associated with, right? And he has a photographer who's Latino from Mexico. And he was there and he took some nice pictures or whatever of the fight because he was in like the front row. But everything was pro Cruz and pro La Raza, and I'm just like, yeah, you see, you can be down, but they know when it comes to that group self-interest, they know what side they rolling on.
That's going to equal those. That's going to equal $1 million. That's going to equal 1 million pay-per-views for Tank. The fact that they already feeling like that towards him, and he's keep chopping them down. This is how he's going to reach that status where he's getting that 25, 30 million a fight to beat these guys.
And it's also not La Raza. Let's not give them that excuse. It's really about anti-blackness, and let me tell you why.
No, this is what they say. No, but this is what they all. Even the guy who did the Mexican national anthem. Listen, to me, I think it's racist because first of all, Mexican is not a race. Mexican is an ethnic identity and a nationality. Okay, it's an ethnic identity in America, but it's a nationality for the country of Mexico, and they're black Mexicans, they're Chinese Mexicans, they're Lebanese Mexicans.
The reason why I said it was focused on anti-blackness is because whenever number one, the Mexican people, specifically in relation to Deontay Wilder, showed a lot of random ass support for Tyson Fury, and we all know they don't like British people because the run Canelo went on. Number two, Joseph Parker also beat Andy Ruiz. And nobody gave a shit about bashing Joseph Parker. Nobody really cared when Andy Ruiz lost to Joseph Parker. So La Raza is what they say by just having, we just believe in community and us supporting ourselves. No, it's really rooted in anti-blackness specifically because a lot of these people that say La Raza are American citizens. Let's keep it above. And they would
texted this shit in Arizona. That's what I be saying. Like,
and they would never voluntarily go live in Mexico for all the tea in China. So it's really rooted in firm anti-blackness because whenever somebody else that's not black comes in and beats someone that's black, they instantly hop on the bandwagon of that person. And La Raza is the excuse they use to hide their racism because La Raza, you can just say, they're supporting their own, but we have to say, nah, it's anti-blackness is what it really is.
Yeah.
And look, man, when y'all send La Raza, shout out to you got to give a shout out to my man. What's the Mexican rapper? This is for La Raza. I forgot his name, man.
SPM.
Yeah, you got to give him a shout out, man.
What's going on, Jules?
What's going on?
I called it dinner, brother.
Here's my thing.
You did. You had a great prediction, man.
Hold on. Here's my thing. I don't want people to assume or feel like I'm anti-Latino or anything like that. It's not like that at all. Because I understand. I just want people to be more open with it and just keep it 100. You don't gotta lie and hide it behind certain things. Just keep it 100 with you.
Because you
guys want to make it seem like it's a team sport, so we gonna treat it like it's a team sport too.
Well, you see, Art, man, we had a discussion about you one night. Matter of fact, me and Checkmate was on with Nika. And she had got on me, and because she said that I might have, stood behind you calling her a foreigner, something along the lines. And I told her, I said, Nika, I don't consider, Puerto Rico a foreign, a foreign land or what have you. But yeah, I feel you on that, man. But you know what? And I will say this, and I'll keep it real on that. When blacks fight, right? How many have heard? And I'm talking about through 20 years, 50 years, 100 years of boxing. Say, man, I went out there and I won for my black people. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And if they
Muhammad
did
Ali.
say that,
Shit, that's
and if
it.
they, right, and if they did say that, you know what I'm saying? Do you think that would be, warmly taken? But when Cruz fought the other night against Tank, even in a losing effort, the man said "Viva Mexico." You know what I'm saying? And he said he did it for the Mexican people. So that's the thing that you know what I'm saying? Even when I hear guys from Great Britain, and and I hear them say, "Oh, I did it for the English people." I never, like I say, man, you can never be a black fighter and say it. Like guys were going off on
Shit, I did that
Dante
shit for
Wilder.
I did that shit for the Rolling 60 Crips, cuz.
Right, yeah, exactly. You get what I'm
Wilder,
saying, man? That stuff ain't
Wil-
I
ain't
mean,
well.
look at Adrian Broner.
Wilder
He
is
said
the
he did it
only.
for the hood.
Only say
Yeah,
he
they
But
did it
they
for
Wilder
the
they
is the
did
hood,
it
only
for
right?
the hood. Everybody
person.
been mad as shit, but I was rocking with that shit because it's like,
Yeah,
yo, he doing it for the hood. I'm fucking
He
with
said
that
he
shit.
did it for the hood, yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
he lost, but
I'm gonna
I
keep it
beat that
100.
boy. Y'all know I
That
beat
whole
that
did it
boy.
for the hood shit. That shit sold me because boy, I done brought the whole hood to my apartment to watch this damn fight, man. And he ended up
Listen,
losing.
the on, listen, the only fighter I seen really of note do that is that I can of memory of, especially as of late, is Wilder. Now Wilder did that thing because of the till this day thing. You know what I mean? He thought, oh y'all, you don't know what's going on with our people 400 years. So he did that because he counted that because they were trying to say, oh, what Fury was going through with the gypsies and Wilder was like, well, our people. So when he did that and he came that he didn't say he was anti anybody. He was saying, I
Right,
want y'all to love yourself, be this, and be proud to be black, be who you are, and in the face of adversity, still come up strong. He never said La Raza. He never saying this is for the race. He was speaking for the people who have been victimized and and ostracized in this
right,
country to some aspect. To instill with them inspiration. That has nothing to do with La Raza. La Raza is basically saying this is our race and we're better than you. You know what I mean? This is how I take it. And I love Mexican people. I live in Arizona. I've dated Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? My sister-in-law is Cuban.
Somebody told me what that means, but don't quote me on it.
It means the race. La raza means
Somebody
the race.
said it's
for the
about
people.
you gotta keep the race pure.
Right.
Well, that's
Right.
that's the that's the older definition, but of course it's been modified now because that sounds a little bit too eugenicist.
Yeah.
So I when I was speaking, I wasn't going by that definition. I was trying to use the modern definition, which is what
What's
Czech
the
and
modern
Julius.
definition? I don't know.
The modern definition
La
is
raza
For
what
the
is
people.
race.
Julius and Czech are saying, and it's basically just the race, and it doesn't mean purity. It just means unity as opposed to purity. But the original definition was, back in the '60s when they were first coming into the nation wholesale, and they had to sort of distinguish themselves from another population. That was the original sort of definition on it. But now it's been modified because we're more how do you say we're more uh, heterogeneous.
And what's so crazy about that is Mexicans are made up of Europeans, Native Americans, and African. I don't know if y'all caught the post I had done was showing a Mexican DNA and all these Mexicans are
Oh
shocked
yeah,
that they got 4 or 5 and 9% African. They were like, "Oh, I'm from Cameroon." You know what I mean? They're proud of it when they found that out. So, the Mexican ethnic identity was born the same time the Black American ethnic identity was born. The same time. The conquistadors went up there, raped, pillaged, mixed with slaves. And of course, if anybody know the true history, then you know the Olmecs were there, and you also know if you read Christopher Columbus journals and the people who was with journals, then you will know there were black people there that they actually. Well, I'm gonna get to that part, but my point is the Mexicans, they're a mixture of people. You know what I mean? So when they say la raza, it just doesn't ring bells. And if they're intelligent enough, they
Yeah,
will
you
like, well,
say
we're not a
mixture of
race.
people, but here you got guys like Mikey Garcia out here claiming white. You know what I'm saying? That's I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I'm
Well, the
keeping it
thing
100.
about it is
that's
that
like,
whenever I
Keep it
hear
100
La
on that,
Raza, I
man. You
don't.
can't be out here claiming, you know, the same people, that oppress my people. That just sound kind of,
Right.
it just look kind of crazy to me. I ain't gonna lie to you guys.
yeah, because
Whenever
the
I hear La
Europeans
Raza,
came
I
and
don't
raped and
even get
pillaged their
upset though.
people, you know what I mean, and everything else. But they they want to identify to the conquerors instead of the people who
Hey,
that's their land, who were in. People don't realize Mexicans were enslaved. The second black president of Mexico was a black man, okay, and he freed the slaves. Was it 16 years before black Americans were freed in Mexico. 1826, I believe he did it. Okay, so he was actually a black Mexican, Afro. His mother was black. Okay, Vicente.
Yeah, I know
But the
you
thing
talking.
about
I've
it,
seen that. I
yeah.
believe
So the thing
in a
about it,
part of Mexico they got like a statue of him up in this Mexican town. I forgot where it is, but they got a statue up. I like seeing a documentary on who you're
yeah,
talking about. But can I ask
I've
y'all a
seen it.
question though?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Who y'all got this weekend with or is it this weekend? Brown and Benavides.
Is
I'm
that
going
this
with
weekend
Brown.
or the
Oh,
18th?
you talking about Brown versus
It's
Better Beeve?
better
Is
be. Yeah,
is that
better be.
18th?
Yeah, I'm going with Brown.
Yeah, I
I'm
got
going with
Brown.
Brown.
I
I
got
got
Brown by
Brown is
Brown
a better
too.
decision.
boxer.
But I've been picking Brown for a little minute, and everybody was
Yeah,
like,
you've
"Oh,
been
all
on it.
right, you tripping?" Then we got some people that's real quiet, don't want to say nothing because they know they
I get
boy Better Beeve time is up.
I have
I
been saying for years that Better Biev is the fucking triple G of light heavyweight. This motherfucker has barely put in any work and gets all of the credit for beating one dude who himself was not completely distinguished. That dude's only fame came from beating a 40-year-old Adonis Stevenson. I was saying
yeah.
for years that fucking Better Biev is
15
the triple
wins.
G of light heavyweight.
I
And he's
got
15-0 with 15 KOs. And Wilder got 41 knockouts and 42 wins, but
right.
they never gave Wilder that credit for the knockouts like they gave
Well,
Triple G. And
Nah,
well,
you look. They say Wilder only knocked out bums, but says Better Beeve is a knockout king. You know
hey,
what I'm
uh-huh.
this
saying?
this is something that I had when we had on the boxing versus when we was talking about knockout, and I was saying that to be a knockout artist, man, it is a skill to knock people out because it's guys that got power, but they can't go out there and land. Deontay Wilder finds a way in every fight, win, lose, or draw, to knock down his opponent. Better BF, to me, um he's not a one punch guy. He's a guy that wear you down, and you know what I'm saying,
He's
he
a
good.
rabbit puncher.
Huh. I know for a fact that Canelo didn't want to go in there and fight him. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a bad matchup for Canelo because Canelo want to stand in front of a guy, and Better Biev would have ran through Canelo. And I mean,
Better
I know people don't like to hear that, but if he fought Better Biev the way he did Canelo, I mean Plant, Better Biev would have stopped Canelo. But you know,
Not
but
this
but
older version. Not this older version of Better Biev. That's why he's waiting so long. If he even comes back down to
yeah.
175.
Well,
Better be
yeah, if he keep weighing them out, if you stall any fighter out and they 37 and you wait till they 38 and they 39, yeah, you might can. But I'm talking about the version when he was moving up to 68 and 75 when he fought Kovalev. That's the one I'm talking about. But Brown can move. My only problem with Brown is those middle rounds, Brown sometimes be laxing. And like in every fight, Brown is, I mean, he's a beautiful boxer, man. He just, you know what I'm saying? I just worry about him doing the middle rounds.
Well, this
That's
is
it.
my thing, Jules. Better Biev to me is the Burchelt of the 175. He's
Mhm.
exactly like Burchelt. He's big. He's bigger than everybody, stronger than everybody.
Right.
But his boxing skills are kind of rudimentary. You know what I mean? He's slow. He's
Yeah.
kind of awkward. He throws a lot, but they're wild. You know what I mean? They're wide. And Better Biev give me that same vibe. That's why I believe Marcus Brown is going to take him if he can stay away from the big punches.
and I don't even think like I don't even agree with people when they start questioning Marcus Brown's chin, because then it's like, so what are we talking about here? Pascal not only failed drug tests, but Pascal is a goddamn puncher. He is a puncher. Pascal is not some. I mean, Pascal can box as well, but he is a knockout puncher. It's like when people say, "Oh, you know, your chin is shaky because you got knocked down by fucking Triple G or because you got knocked down by Canelo." I'm like, bro, these dudes are punchers. So to say Marcus Brown has no chin, he wasn't knocked out cold. He got up and the fight ended in a technical decision, and that's his only loss.
Because
So
and I'm not questioning his chin, but what I am questioning is sometimes he get bored doing fights or he get unfocused. I ain't for sure exactly how to call it during the middle rounds, or it could be fatigue. You know what I'm saying? You know, some guys don't know how to pace themselves, but if he can pace himself and use that jab that he got in that range and stay away, man, he could box. He could stop in a bit.
Hey,
Better
you
be.
know what, Julius?
one thing
And
I'm worried
that's what I
about.
think
Oh,
too. I'm like, dude, he's with Derek James, and I have so much faith in Derek James based off his experience, resume, or whatever, you know. And what I'm seeing in all his new fighters too is just like, it's like, dude, if he goes out there and have a great jab and it's real comfortable out there and lax, you know, and got his eye on the ball, you know, on the game, you know, follow the rules, you know, I feel like he could break him down and probably even stop him.
I was just gonna say I'm worried about, and I'm not worried about Derek James as a coach, but y'all know what I'm getting ready to say. I am worried that he's going to make Brown a little bit too jab centric for this particular opponent. Now, if he was fighting anybody else, if he was fighting Bivol, fucking what's the name, Joe Smith Jr., Zito Ramirez, I'd be like, oh, please jab your ass off. It don't even matter. But with Better Biev, you're gonna need to give him a little bit more to worry about, especially when you talk about going to the body. Because
when I say jab, like Errol Spence,
Power.
You see Errol Spence, when Errol Spence jab, he immediately throw like two left and right to the body.
But Errol Spence
right back up top.
Errol Spence is Errol Spence though. We're talking about Marcus. Errol Spence is in a league of his own. We can't just. It's Marcus Brown. Come on, bro.
But okay, my thing is, I even see Frank Martin fighting like that, and he's another Derek James.
I just want to tack on what Julius said. I just wanted to tack on what Julius says. He's wondering why he gets lax sometimes. What it is overconfidence because he relaxed because he's been better than everybody. And some people, when they get overconfidence, they just take their foot up the brake like, man, I got this. It becomes that overconfidence become a little arrogant. So he was arrogant in the ring when he was getting caught. It was, you know what I mean? He would just, when you, all you got to do is take your eye off the ball for a second and that punch is going to land. If he's focused and hungry and dedicated, that won't happen. That's why I have faith in him because I don't think
he's been looking real hungry. He don't be, and that's the thing. Marcus Brown to be posting on Twitter and social media and all that shit. That nigga in there cut up as bro. That nigga is cut up.
Yeah,
and also
working hard.
And also Jean Pascal has good skill and timing. I mean, albeit he was 36 at the time, Pascal's caught plenty of people. I mean, shit. He even caught Bivol.
His ass though.
He knocked Bernard Hopkins down twice. Yeah, Pascal knocked Bernard Hopkins down twice. And look, and here's the crazy part about the Pascal Brown fight. In that particular fight, man, Brown, I think, outlanded the guy like 90-40. You know what I'm saying? And I was still trying to figure out, even with him knocking Brown down 2 times, I was still trying to figure out, how did Pascal win that fight by technical decision? And he got out punched, 5-1. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same way Kambosos beat Mickey Bay. Kambosos only got 1 knockdown in that damn fight, and I don't know how they gave it to Kambosos because I thought Mickey Bay won. But if you take out the knockdown,
so think about this. Regardless of how many times Brown got knocked down, he got up. You know what I'm saying? So he's not a coward. He's not a bum. He got hurt. He got wobbled. He wasn't fully recovered, but you can see that he got that dog in him. You know what I mean? And I felt like he was winning that fight. They just stopped him for the cut, whatever the case may be. But Listen. I don't know. Did I send you? I know. I think I sent that to you, Art man. I think I responded to one of your posts and sent you the tape. I sent you the vid where it shows Better BF getting knocked down twice.
Yeah, I
by two
reposted
different
because I was
fighters.
like, oh yeah, you niggas think that shit's sweet.
Yeah,
All right,
but
bet.
nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about the fact that Better BF has been knocked down by 2 fighters in his 15 fights, and they never said he was exposed. Devin Haney can get wobbled that by one punch at the end of the Linares round. Oh, he got
And
exposed.
he's exposed.
Yeah. Lomachenko get knocked down. They call it by Linares. They call him pound for pound. Better BF get knocked down twice. He's still this indestructible giant. It's racism, is what it is, brother. Call it what it is. This is the reason why. For so long, you had the Muhammad Ali's, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Mike Tysons, the Floyd Mayweathers. The line of succession who carry boxing, right? And they created this microcosm, this economic engine. So when Bob Arum started promoting Oscar, and he said I got this on tape. He said he discovered the Hispanic gold mine, and he said he'd rather promote him than Roy Jones, even though nobody could touch Roy Jones because Roy Jones nobody could beat him because he was a superior boxer. So that's when this racial division in boxing started during our lifetime. You know what I'm saying? And that was when he started doing it. So it became about money and the focusing on the Latino and Hispanics for their dollars. You know what I mean? And not about the talent thing. So
hey, look, to go back on what you were saying, Checkmate. I had a Twitter thing with somebody this week, and we was talking about that because this person, I ain't gonna name him, they told me that the black dollar don't matter in boxing.
Oh.
So I plugged you in on this one, Check. Remember, I went on and put you in on this. Now listen, here's the thing. I told this person the top 3 draws in America, and I'm talking about from America, and top 3 out of 5 in boxing is Tank Davis. Tank Davis might be he number 1. If you can sell out in Atlanta, Baltimore, and LA, you know what I'm saying, and put a crowd together in Vegas, you number 1, you going coast to coast. Earl Spence can get 60, 70,000 in Texas. He done did it a couple times and then fought, the Mikey Garcia. And then, Bud Crawford in Omaha. The man get 19,000 in the basketball arena in Omaha. So our dollar, you know what I'm saying?
Wilder.
And Deontay Wilder sold out in Birmingham. He sold out in Tuscaloosa. You know what I'm saying? And
Wilder will sell out anywhere. Wilder will sell out anywhere as long as his opponent isn't black.
Yeah. Hey, look, him and Stavern in Brooklyn had over 13,000.
Yeah. Wilder pulls the numbers. He's been consistently pulling the numbers. They don't give him that credit. This was the point I was trying to make, is they're trying to whitewash boxing, Hispanic wash boxing, and do the no black fighters list and get these black fighters out there because they want to recreate what Floyd did. They want to recreate what Mike Tyson did, but with non-black fighters, because they figure they like, we got to do this. They know it's possible, but Floyd broke the union. Floyd became his own boss and showed them, I can make more money than you, all your fighters in the industry combined, by doing things my way. I don't need a promoter. This is why they're talking down to them.
They're missing
because they don't want people to go Floyd route.
The golden formula that made Floyd rich. Racism.
Yes.
You can't get that out of Lomachenko,
right,
and Tyson Fury and all these guys. You can't get that feeling of, we want to see you lose so bad, you goddamn Negro. We want to see you lose. We hate you.
Also, that's mainly because that black people don't reciprocate that energy. Black boxing fans don't waste time reciprocating that energy. So you'll never get that back from us. I remember Julius. Someone has said some similar shit to me on Twitter, and I just copy and pasted a post of the 10 greatest pay-per-views of all time, and it's like you see what the common denominator is. So I'm like,
black.
Yeah, the reason why they can't replicate the same racism is because the black people like us that actually purchase boxing, we don't give the same energy. That's not what we do. That's not what we do.
Hey,
But
I was on one
but
of
they
those.
hate. Hey, they like that energy we
Yeah.
have for that Wilder versus Fury 3, man, and that's
Yeah.
what made that's so crazy because it's like they
Yeah.
really are entertained by us, but claim they
Yeah.
hate the things we do.
And listen,
And
and there's
look,
probably
I even
5
said this
million, six
too.
million people stealing streams. It's just probably 6 million people stealing stream just so they won't support their black fighter. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So now, and they the ones who talk about the pay-per-view numbers, even though they're watching it for free, because
Yeah.
this is they don't want to show it.
And look, and here's the part that killed me. Week after week, we watch these bum shows on the zone. Look, man, I just gotta call it a spade a spade. Man, when are people gonna get tired of watching James Tennyson or you know what I'm saying, or Connor Ben or um what's Ricky Haddon's son, Matthew Haddon, whatever his name is, man. I mean, like, come on, man. They throw even a couple women boxing matches where we want to support women boxing, but outside of Bumgarner, you know what I'm saying? And then the young lady, the young black girl at 122, I believe, or 122 pounds. Outside of that, man, you know, like, come on, man. You come up with these bum shows every single week, all these
Every week.
domestic fights, and people are sitting up there. Of course, it's on Twitter acting like it's the greatest thing, and they going round by round on James Tennyson versus Martin Ward or something. And I'm sitting there like, man, are y'all actually gonna sit here and support this garbage?
The zone won't get a penny of my money at all.
Uh,
They won't get a
Not
no,
cent.
not at
why?
all.
I'm not watching them. Why do I want to watch British club fighters? It's just so
Yeah,
ridiculous the low level of competition and quality that they put on, and hey you for $100 here you get to watch this free Friday night bum bashes that ESPN put on. Are you serious?
Well, I
And then
watch a lot of
you
British
ain't gotta watch
boxing
the fight because they
actually,
put the
and
whole damn fight highlight on YouTube.
well,
There's a few good British fighters, but this is what the majority of what they do. When you think about what they're doing, they're showing British bum bashes. Now, this is what they're doing. Eddie Hearn ain't over here trying to build Americans. He over here and bringing British fighters on the cards every time he do something.
no, absolutely. And I was gonna say, I watch a lot of British boxing, and number one, because I just love the sport, and I watch, a lot for personal and athletic reasons. But I was gonna say, I watch more British boxing than British people, and that's how I know they ain't the goods. It's horrible. Like I remember one time K-Rod was on here, and he said it's basically like the professional amateurs. Like you can still be in the amateur ranks while you still getting paper. And I'm like, that's a perfect way to describe them. Like in MTK, IFL TV, all those YouTube channels that post entire fight cards, and I'm like, yeah, because y'all need this revenue because no one is watching this bullshit. I might be the only black person in America watching these fights right now.
You definitely are.
Well, see, you're right. You know how they got their shine? Let me tell you who opened the door. Deontay Wilder opened the door for these British fighters. During the negotiation, all this back and forth with Anthony Joshua and all that, this is how all of a sudden the British fighters even came into our lexicon. Because we were not discussing British fighters like that until the Wilder and Joshua fiasco.
We're still not.
Check this out.
We're still not discussing.
Look,
I know that, but now they're being forced on.
I'd never stepped a foot in the United Kingdom. But tomorrow morning, I got to ship a couple packages out there to the United Kingdom.
Right.
Just based off the interaction that Wilder had with Fury.
Right.
Wilder created that with AJ. That's when the British all of a sudden.
Yeah, AJ Fury, Wilder. That's just crazy.
Yeah, but it started with Wilder and AJ, and of course with the Fury fights. Because think about this, y'all. I want you to get your opinions on this. People were saying, and I made a post about this. People were saying, "Oh, PBC won't fight." The zone fighters and Eddie Hearn. Now, I was saying like this: would you guys really be happy and readily available to assist and help and fight with this promoter who says his goal is to take away your livelihood? He said his goal is to take away PBC destroy Showtime, put Showtime out of business, and kill pay-per-view. This is PBC's livelihood. Al Heyman is the only top black, major black platform for black fighters, and they want to kill it. And you want me to go ahead and help you kill it? So people don't understand the ramifications of that. Now, Eddie Hearn don't do a lot of cross promotion because he'll tell you got to be a DAZN fighter. You know what I mean? If you think of Povetkin, when you think about all those guys, guess what? They what's his the guy from New Zealand? Not New Zealand.
Parker?
Yeah. Parker. Yeah. So when Parker fought, now Parker fighting on DAZN forever. Every time a fighter fights one of Eddie Hearn's fighters, they get signed for for life, basically. And it's so sad. So if you don't understand why PBC why Al Heyman doesn't want to make these deals, think about it. He tried to steal Wilder. He tried to steal Tank. He tried to steal the Charlo. He tried to steal everybody. So why would you want to enable that? This British, invasion, and then he's getting Boston Tea Party out. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. When Americans support Eddie Hearn, I think it's disgusting because you don't understand what's going on.
Well, his plan, Eddie Hearn's plan was to go ahead, because you know what they do. He was going to try to put anybody in his stable up against a PBC fighter. And then when they got demolished, he could say, look, he went up against the mighty Errol Spencer. He went up against the mighty Charlo or some bullshit like that. Because, like whenever you lose to a black fighter, you still get all kinds of credit. But whenever you beat him, you get even more credit. So he was going to make superstars out of fucking PBC fighter victims. Like, that's just like when Bud's a free agent. And Bud is like, he's like, hey, who's going to sign me? And then Hearn said, hell no, I ain't signing Crawford. He was like, dude, because Crawford will run through your whole stable. You pay him $4 million.
He don't even have a stable.
Yeah, exactly. You pay Crawford $5 million. He'll beat up the best 147 pounder you got, which is probably either Conor Beneflor and Marku. He'll beat the living shit out of them, and then the rest of the division won't even want to fight Crawford. So then you fucked off Crawford. Fucked off your whole 147 division, and now you're back at square one with Crawford on the plantation talking about he can't get no damn fights.
Yeah, I was on.
Yo, Rez Fist, go to the website artmanapparel.com. It's titled Goat Season. Goat Season for the hoodie.
Listen, I give it to the British, right? They're rabid fans. I call them converted soccer fans. They're soccer hooligans, you know what I mean? And they think about these guys be burning down stadiums and shit. We don't do stuff like that. You know what I mean?
They do that shit over here. Look.
We don't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? They be throwing bananas and all this and calling the black players monkeys when they could be their heroes.
You can do that shit here.
And one day they mess up, they call them a monkey and throw. So this is the difference. This is what the element that they're actually bringing to the boxing. Now, if you got a quality British fighter, I'm going to support it because I love boxing. If you're a good fighter, but don't give me no. I know some of y'all might like them, but don't give me no Ted Cheeseman. Don't give me no Edwards. Don't give me this bull, man. And I'm supposed to act like this is on the same level. Think about this. They fight for the European title, right? And the British eat that up. They fight for the Commonwealth title. We don't care about the USDA title. We don't care about these continental titles. We don't even know when those fights even happen. Those are just trinkets.
Hey, look, checkmate. I'm gonna tell you, Art, when I knew how crazy these fans was, when I went to the Mayweather Ricky Hatton fight in 2007. Ricky Hatton, I might add, might have been one of the last true great British fighters. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, Carl Froch was a very good. I wouldn't call him great. Calzaghe was good. I still wouldn't call Calzaghe great because of his level.
He beat an old Roy Jones. I don't give him that.
Yeah, he beat an old Roy, and it's debatable on the Bernard Hopkins. But when I went to the fight, man, they had under the MGM, they was arresting all those British fans for drunken, and they will fight. When they man lose, they gonna fight. No doubt.
This is their culture, man. That's their culture. That's their sporting culture.
That the British couldn't come to Wilder versus Fury 3 because I was kind of expecting that type of atmosphere, but it wasn't like that. It was just a whole bunch of us.
Because Tyson Fury isn't a draw like Ricky Hatton, man. The British fans don't love Tyson Fury the way that they loved Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton, they considered him more of theirs. You know, I mean, Fury is a gypsy, so he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like say Ricky Hatton. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
second
A pure,
class.
It's
yeah.
not
So
even it's not even because he's a gypsy. It's because the fact of the matter is, even at heavyweight, his own people knew he hadn't accomplished anything but beating the old Klitschko, who three other bums managed to stop.
And some of his
So
own
the
people
British,
believe he cheated.
yeah, the British people had no evidence. And also, what's funny is, so two things I want to point out. One, the British fans have been showing their ass since Alan Minter got his ass whooped by Hagler in the '80s. And number
right.
two, and number
Yeah.
two, people and number two, people forget Fury accused Klitschko of cheating, and
Yeah, with
everybody
the
missed it.
water. With the water. Yeah.
People accused Fury accused Klitschko of cheating in 2015, even though he won the fucking fight,
I
and
put a
everybody
bid
missed
out
it.
on that. They don't even mention that. No one
Everybody,
talk. Wilder is delusional, but Fury can say, "I don't want. I can't touch the water because you never know they're cheating. You never know what these guys doing." He did that for the Wilder fight, and he did that for Klitschko. You know, where after the Wilder fight, he refused to drink the water.
no,
But in the Klitschko fight, he
and he said
clearly
that
said,
Klitschko.
"Yeah." In the Klitschko fight, he clearly said that he got good word that these guys were trying to cheat, and that he didn't drink anything and went home dehydrated because he didn't want to test positive for something. So
And
it's
he,
okay if Fury say it, but if Martin Carefoot say Fury cheated and they told him to lie about eating this fake wild boar because he was trying to cover up steroids, he's cheating.
And he
Yeah.
also said that Fury. He also said that Klitschko was trying to cheat with the gloves, even though Klitschko.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why the fight almost didn't happen was because Klitschko was insistent. Klitschko was insistent that they both wear the same gloves, but somehow Fury concocted in his brain, "Oh, he's trying to get me to lose because we both wearing the same gloves." Nigga, what?
Fury
Hey,
said that. He also said
yeah.
that the ring, they made the ring very like damper. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Gee.
So he said Klitschko tried to cheat in every way possible with the water, with the gloves, and the ring. You know what I
And
mean?
Usyk said the same thing about Chisora. Usyk said the same exact thing. Usyk said that Chisora probably has something in his gloves, even though Usyk won the fight. So I'm like, where were y'all when Usyk was saying Chisora rigged? And keep in mind, Usyk is the fucking ultimate A side of a weak ass Chisora. So Usyk was saying that Chisora ordered the ring size to be smaller. Chisora had loaded gloves. There wasn't enough time, and all these crazy things. And Usyk received no fucking hate. I'm just like, bruh, they're literally copying Wilder verbatim,
You know,
but it's different for Usyk.
That's why Usyk didn't
you
get
know
no.
who did cheat with dirty gloves? You know who did cheat with dirty gloves? Dylan White with the Oscar Rivas. You know what I mean? So, and I put that video out as well, where Eddie was saying that first Dylan White said that the undercard took his gloves and his high level boxing. You know, the undercard took his gloves. We don't know why, whatever. Then Eddie Hearn said, well, he had problem, whatever. But the thing about it is, this is the telling tale. Dylan White had his gloves on at the post-fight press conference. He still had his gloves on at the post-fight press conference because he didn't want people to see what was inside those gloves.
And how about Dylan White tested positive for steroids after a fight? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Dylan
he's a
White's
cheat.
trash. I
But
don't even
again,
talk about Dylan White. He's garbage.
this is what they do, brother.
And he's
This is what black fighters are up against. We're up against not only our American boxing media being racist and against us, and public being against us, but you just got everybody. Now you got Hearn. So black American fighters are but they can't suppress God-given gifts and talent. The cream is going to rise to the top, and it's just what it is. This is the reason why they want Charlo to fight Andre, because they want the two black bulls to get one of them out the way, and that way they won't be undefeated anymore. And they get to talk about why they don't want to fight. They don't need to fight both of them. You know what I mean?
And then neither one of them are going to get any credit for beating the other, because according to that same media that wants them to fight, they both suck ass. So it's like, what's even the point? We should go fight some people that are good, right? So how about we go fight some people that are good? Why we got to fight each other? Because we both suck ass, right?
Right.
We both suck ass. So what's the point?
Hey, I'll tell y'all another fight that got signed today, man. The Gary Russell fighting the boy from the Philippines. That's gonna be a good fight, man. I think Gary Russell gonna beat him, but my man is a warrior, man. He can punch too, man.
Yeah, It's a Filipino
It's
named Magsayo.
Guso or something.
Oh yeah,
Maguaso.
yeah.
Magsayo,
That
yeah.
big old
Yeah.
motherfucker who was next. Look,
Yeah, they trying to get Gary up off the belt, bro.
Yeah, but
that
Gary done
motherfucker.
beat
I
him
don't
though.
give a fuck what
I
nobody
know.
say. I think he on that shit too.
Yeah, because
He
look,
probably
I think
is.
he on that shit too,
my
bro.
my man was about 140 some
Some
pounds. You know what I'm saying? Before his
he
fight,
took a
then
picture with Sean Porter. He took a picture with Sean Porter. Dude was bigger than Sean Porter. I said, guess which fighter fights at what was it, 122, 126?
26, yeah.
I said, guess which one of these fighters fight at 126?
Yeah.
You would have thought it was Sean Porter next to this nigga.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they trying to get Gary off the bus. Just like with Charlo, they got an eliminator coming up with their new pet project, Israel Madrimov versus Michael Soro for Jamel Charlo's WBA belt. So they coming for Charlo ass too. They trying to get him about. They trying to get him off the belts too.
See, they be
And you know what they
always
do?
finding them
It's like
European
Rocky
fighters.
4. It's like Rocky. You know, they sent these juiced up motherfucking foreigners to come beat the black guys. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, man. These guys be all types of juice. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. If the WBC is allowing certain things to happen like this, I'm putting my tinfoil kufi on, nigga. Somebody juicing, and the WBC and these organizations know it.
Bro,
They
they're
know
all juicing. Look at Stan Jonas. Stan Jonas looks juiced as fuck.
Hey, look.
I ain't never seen no white dude built up like that, though. I'm gonna keep it 100.
All right, man. If they was in
boxing,
track and field, if boxing tested like track and field, these guys would be getting busted all the time out of competition. Like especially Canelo. Look, man, Canelo is a skilled fighter. Okay, we all know that. We all agree with that. But he also juices, and you know what I'm saying. And look, it became not just when he got caught, but it was just so painfully obvious, man, when the guy won every single fight on short notice. Like every single fight it seemed like his fights are always rushed. Like, okay, he
4 to 6 weeks notice.
Huh? Yeah, yes. Everything
6
weeks. You know what I'm saying? He's cycling, man. The guy's cycling off. He ain't no different than Lance Armstrong.
The moment I found out he needed to fight James Kirkland on short notice, I was like, oh hell no, my nigga. James Kirkland can't get a full camp. James Kirkland ain't. I'm sorry, James, but this man has never held a championship
it really
belt.
do got me with my tinfoil kufi on right now, because it's like, man, like you got to really think about it. Like,
there's
boxing
nothing
is a tough sport. All that wear and tear on your body.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine. Oh, I'm about to fight in 3 months, and then after that, I'm gonna rest for a little bit. Then I'm gonna fight again, and then I'm gonna fight again. And expect me to just be full 100%, like every fight. Like, hell no, I'm gonna be bro. I'm gonna be achy. Like, bro, even when I go to the gym and work out, I be sore as hell. These boxers be training hard as fuck, and you telling me these guys is not, you know what I'm saying, not juicing in some of these fights? Because it's like, bro, the human body can only do so much.
Yeah, and I believe that the biggest now, I should say this, just my opinion, is the blood doping, man. You know what I'm saying? And the recovery. You know what I mean? That's the part, that recovery. Any drug, EPO, whatever, that's about recovery and you know what I'm saying, and giving you the ability. But look, Art, in my opinion, man, we're not going to start to see the effects of this steroid use until 10, 15, 20 years from now, when these guys be having heart attacks and dying at 42 and 45 years old, man. You know, and I hate to say it, I hate to be like that, but that's what I think gonna happen, man. We're gonna know the juicers when they die young, man. You know, from all that steroid use.
Hey, real quick,
like bodybuilders.
Real quick, I was on one of these shows panels. One of the dudes on there was saying, "I can't wait until the downfall of the Negro boxer."
God damn!
I swear to God,
wow.
I swear to God, he said that shit. I don't. He probably didn't think there was a black person on the panel, but
They dead ass said that shit.
Wow.
You know what? You know what? I'm just curious because like Max Kellerman, most of y'all might not know, but Max Kellerman's brother was murdered allegedly by a black professional boxer when he first moved to Los Angeles trying to be a writer. So at least Max Kellerman can explain his fucking racism. What the fuck is that dude's problem?
James, yeah.
Well, I said
Harlem
allegedly.
Hammer.
I said no, it was allegedly a black guy, but the real killer may have been Mexican.
Oh no, I'm talking about the dude who said that shit about the downfall.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What did we do? Because I personally enjoy Mexican boxers. I enjoy Hispanic boxers fighting. You know, I support my own, of course, when it comes to that. But
man,
I don't want
Twitter,
the downfall of Mexican boxing.
Yeah,
there's a dude on Twitter. He keeps on tagging me, and I'm like, dude, stop tagging me in this bullshit. And it's always like, Deontay Wilder is done. Black boxing is finished. It's over with. I'm like, oh my Lord, dude. I don't even want to engage in this shit because
it ain't that guy
Gervontaa Davis pack out a fucking basketball arena, and you're talking about black boxing is finished. Shut the fuck up, dude.
No, Ring IQ is dragging me right now. Like I care. I'm like, bro, I have no following. I couldn't care.
You know,
I couldn't
maybe
care
this
less,
guy's
bro.
among us. Who knows?
And it's funny. And this racist asshole is trying to drag me too. I'm like, bro, boxing is not how I make my bread, bro. that's not what I do. I don't care. I'm like, post whatever you want, dog. It is funny because these guys that come over here to feast off of us, because the truth is, if they had to make their own community, they would fucking hate each other. They would make each other fucking sick with how horrible they all are personality wise. Like Champ Life, dude, this dude's tweets is fucking straight up trash. Like Laylo, look, Laylo couldn't get on a panel with dudes like him. They'd all vomit. Like Ring IQ, I only discovered Ring IQ because Art Man roasted his ass. That's all. That's the only reason I discovered Ring IQ.
I can't stand little fat ass.
It's funny. Yeah, and it's funny because like when I type into YouTube Ring IQ, the first word that comes up for search options is racist. It's literally says Ring IQ racist. I'm like, yeah, I know he's some fucking
racist, man.
Yeah, some salty ass fucking Hispanic dude that couldn't fit in with the black dudes, probably in New York, and got mad, kind of like Punch Drunk. Yeah. These niggas grow up to be like Ring IQ and Punch Drunk, and he fucking looks like a llama. He got mad that I posted a meme.
I told that nigga, I said, man, having me on your show was the worst thing you could ever do, nigga.
Literally, you got more Twitter followers than he does, and he been on Twitter since 2015.
Really?
Yes, that's the worst. Exactly. I even told him, I was like, he was talking about my following. I'm like, bro, I don't have a channel of any kind. I just talk boxing.
It's not even just about followers, nigga. I got real life supporters who spend real life money with me.
you built real. Yeah, you built the actual business off of fucking Ring IQ's dumbass, and he's been hating black people ever since because
I was on there advertising like a motherfucker. That shit did 6,000. He deleted the fucking interview. He's a bitch. He deleted the fucking debate, but that shit had, bro. They said Tim Bradley was watching that shit and everything. The pros was watching that.
That's how I discovered Ring IQ, and he's still mad at you too because I guess I talk to you sometimes. He's trying to target me, and I'm like, bro, go to town. I have no following, bro. Go to town.
He deleted everybody, so fuck that nigga.
Oh, that's cool, but I'm like, bro, have fun with my account, bro. I have no following, homie. This is not what I do. Go ahead, bro. Oh God, be careful with that name. I'm sorry, I can only imagine. Because
BFTB, you a funny dude. I swear to God.
BFTB, because BFTB gets some crazies on there sometimes.
I know.
Hey, look, guys, I'm about to roll out, man. It was good talking to you, hollering at y'all, man.
All right. Hey, Neighbor, you got to click that link right there and join.
Yeah, and you can talk boxing peacefully. No screaming and hollering, trying to get your damn point across.
Nah, he cool people. He cool people. If this is the person that I think it is.
Okay, for sure.
Said best of the best on his channel. Funny. Man, we just be keeping it 100 on this channel, man. Real shit. And this is what I like what I do, because you see bitch ass niggas like Mike Coppinger, and then you see real niggas like me and my brother D Hive. and checkmate and all. You know what I'm saying, Banks? We keep it 100. Motherfucking Mike Coppinger and Lance Pugmire and Mark Kriegel writing all these soft ass Lifetime Hallmark Channel ass fucking Teofimo almost died. He almost died, you know.
And the sad part is that like in situations like where AB got beat up by Maidana, did we all say Maidana was trash? Did we all say that AB like it was a fluke? No, we gave Maidana his respect. So like we don't get heated like that. It's the same as when Kelly Pavlik beat up Jermaine Taylor twice in a row. Did we say death to all whites? Did we say Kelly Pavlik was trash? No, we gave him his respect. I don't I don't understand. Like I knew Virgil Ortiz Jr. was gonna fold Maurice Hooker. I knew it, and I was like, oh, it is what it is.
We was rude for, and that's the thing. Black folks was rude for Maurice Hooker, and when he lost, we was just like, all right, well, shit, it is what it is.
Yeah, we didn't say, Maurice was garbage. Now
he's done. Yeah, black boxing is done because Maurice Hooker lost.
Yeah, we gave Virgil Ortiz Jr. his respect. Shit, I wanted to see him versus Crawford this year, but some shit got in the way.
Yeah, you know how that shit go. But shout out to my dude, Alejandro. What's going on, man?
I don't know. I hear about all these guys, and it just sounds like some shit went wrong in their life, and they're just trying to hate on y'all or some shit. I don't know.
Of course.
I don't even care about them.
But let's get into it. What you feel about that Gervonta Davis versus Cruz fight?
It was a good fight. I think it was a draw, honestly. I do think it was a draw. But Tank did fight in the last few rounds with the hand hurt. I do think he did lose the 10th, 11th, and the 12th round. Not by much, but he did. And then it didn't help his hand when he landed on him either in the 12th round. But he did show that he is getting those skills like Mayweather had, which is he's showing them pretty good now.
He's showing them pretty good now. You see, I like what you're saying, but I don't agree that it was a draw. Gervonta Davis, I'm pretty sure everybody can agree that he has matured a lot, a whole lot.
Mature more.
Yeah, most definitely. And those skills are showing. He's very sharp, even with the messed up left hand. The way Gervonta Davis was throwing that left hook, you just don't see fighters throw punches like that with those type of intentions on them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. And the only thing is that a lot of people, they didn't know who Cruz was coming into this fight because they don't watch boxing like we do. They thought he was just fighting against a nobody, just like, anybody else trying to come up and trying to fight bigger stars. So they thought he was cherry picking someone that was easy. They didn't know he was going to actually have a good fight like that one.
Yeah, and not everybody, even people in the top 10, not everybody was just lining up to fight Cruz. They rather fight each other like 2-3 more times than give Cruz a shot, which is why, I'm glad Cruz went up in the rankings, but Cruz had to go back and fight, some older people who were, like Matias Romero and Francisco Vargas. Like he had to go back and fight some of those people because none of the other guys were trying to really fight Cruz, to be quite honest. So, I'm glad Tank gave him an opportunity, even if it was short notice, so he could show out and then get on some of these other people's ass.
And it's still going to stay that way. Those guys are still not going to fight him because they're all – the thing about nowadays boxing is that everyone's scared to get an L. It's not bad to get an L as long as you give up a good fight, A lot of these younger guys, these younger cats, they're scared to get that L.
Well, you know how fans are about
they be
L's
scared
now.
to get that L, and they avoid certain fighters and paydays just to get a worse L by people that's unexpected, less deserving of a fight with you.
Well, I know why Teofimo's scared to take an L. All the shit he talks, you better not lose. You better not ever lose.
But he lost to George Cambosa, so it's like, bro, like you got this guy from the land down under as a motherfucking thinking he the top dog. Where this guy come from?
Hey, I was telling you, I told everybody, don't be surprised if Kambosos beat the
Yeah,
unfocused,
I
undisciplined.
picked Cambosis to win, but it's like,
Yeah,
bro, why do you even put me in a predicament where I'm picking this guy to beat you? You should just been in there with Haney,
yeah.
so I could pick Haney to beat you, and you can cash out and then bounce back on your next fight.
And
Now,
you
who we
wouldn't
gonna
have got
fight
hurt.
next? Pedraza?
And you wouldn't have got
I,
hurt nearly as bad if you had just fought Haney. If you just fought Haney, you get a little touched up, probably a black eye, you could walk away with some dignity. Kambosos went in there and fucking some damn child abuse on your ass.
He rocked him bad.
that's
He
the
had your
worst
ass
part about
leaking.
boxing today is the
Look,
ducking.
he had his ass leaking, not from no fucking headbutt, from a punch.
That man thought he was gonna be able to
Yo,
knock him out
did you see
first
the video I made? With the excuses, I actually matched him up with Teofimo up with Broner. Did you see the video, Art?
Yeah, I seen it.
he, he was
See,
at
but
I
Broner didn't
won.
look like that.
No, no,
Broner
no,
didn't look
no,
like
no.
that.
No, Broner didn't look like that at all, but I matched it up with Broner because he was taking his words word for word, bar for bar. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't even a play on Broner. It was just saying Teofimo was using excuses when he clearly lost.
Man, people felt so bad for him. They was like, he's concussed, you know.
No,
They said he had
Yeah.
air in his chest. I'm like, what
Yeah.
can I get a more specific definition? Because my thing is, bruh, if
How about that
asthma was
hookah he was smoking?
yeah, like if but my thing is they said air in his chest, then they specified it to asthma because people had questions. I'm like, okay, cool, he had asthma. But my thing is all of your success came toward the end of the fight.
Fight.
So where would you were more successful when there was more strain on your cardiovascular system. So I'm thinking, where did the air factor in when you almost stopped Kambosos in the 10th? You was getting your ass ball up until then. Like, so it never made sense to me from Jump Street. I was like, wait, hold on. But all your success came when the fight was getting ready to be over. So I'm like, damn, it was just like, what?
the thing about Teofimo is that he went in there head thinking, not disciplined, just thinking he was gonna knock him out in the first, second, or third round. And it didn't help him that he had his dad in his corner cheering him on the whole fight, trying to make him think he was winning. His dad was out of the fight before it even started as well. So when you go in a fight and your coach is not disciplined enough to tell you the truth while you're in the fight,
Hey, he said Georgia was put fucking Teal to sleep in the first round, cuz oh my lord. And that's just true.
it's true. He caught him bad, man.
You know
Look,
what's crazy?
he caught him and then he got up and then he caught him again. And
Like, you know,
motherfucking,
what's crazy? I had Teofimo beating Kambosos by split decision, and I also had Ryan Garcia being able to decision Jojo Diaz. I got more faith in these motherfuckers than they do themselves. It don't make no sense.
This is what's sad. I was a fan of Teo before the Loma fight. I was a fan of him. I was like, I like this young cat. He's still raw. He's very athletic, but you can still, he didn't have, if you watch the Nakatani fight, you can see he's still got a ways to go. So I was thinking he's 15-0, 12 KOs, and he's going up against Loma. They just putting in a body. But I told people, and I won a lot of money stating that he was going to beat Loma because of the size, the strength and the size. And that's the reason why. It wasn't that he was superior. He doesn't have the skills of Loma, but I just didn't think Loma would be able to beat someone who's probably walking around weighing 150, 155. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I picked Teo, right? But after the Loma fight, he became a monster, man. That his personality is something I just can't even stomach, man.
He changed all around. I made money in the Teo versus Loma fight. I betted on Teo and won.
Me too.
I didn't bet on him against Kambosos because I saw the energy he was coming with, and I just didn't like it. He changed.
I won over $11,000.
I'm a big
fight.
energy guy too. I was reading this energy, and I said, "Oh man, I can just tell shit not right, man. Kambosos doing all the right things, saying the right things, looking, showing me just subtle things like the speed and the timing." I just said, man, I know an unfocused Teo is gonna get caught with some shit. And lo and behold, what happened? He got caught with some shit. First round at that. I didn't even think it was gonna be that soon when he caught him. I thought he was gonna catch Tio in the later rounds. He caught that nigga in the first round. I said, "Oh
Was
shit."
arrogance, unpreparedness, and y'all know they did a secret weigh-in, right? Y'all know when they went to the scales on on the way up, it wasn't real. Y'all knew
Look,
that, right?
and I said that. Look, I
Yeah.
said that, and people said, "Oh, here come Art Man with his conspiracies." I said, "Nigga," I
Well,
said, "Hold on." That nigga said 135 too fucking quick, and he said 135 point nothing, 130
no,
nothing, just
and he had
135
his
even.
pants on. Listen,
What,
the clues was he still had his pants and his
bro?
clothes on. Okay, so that was your clue right there. It was all for show, right? And I was looking at it, I was like, why is he getting on this? Why did he jump on and jump off? And why is his spot? Why are they looking so perplexed? First of all, he was a couple of hours late to the weigh-in. I was thinking, man, he's missing weight. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Listen, I hope that this humbles him and he turns this around and become a likable guy again. Because I think he has potential. He's still a long way to go. I told you guys he wasn't in I didn't consider him a pound for pound fighter off one Loma win. You just can't jump from prospect to all of a sudden the top five, and then when you don't even have Jamel Charlo who ran the gauntlet. You know what I mean? Through
Like I was
154.
laughing. I be laughing at Loma's fans because I be like, dude, Lomachenko lost to a dude who was prospect of the year like 6 months ago.
15. I'm hoping he get back on track, man. He need to relegate his dad to a background, hire another trainer, have his dad a second, whatever the case may be. But his dad cannot control his because they're both egomaniacs. You know what I mean? They
But
have
hey,
something about their personalities that just
yeah, but
destructive, man.
but who do y'all see him beating at 140? Because you got the only person I see him beating is like Zepeda and Ramirez.
Cepeda.
Yeah, and
They
I
Ramirez.
gonna make
mean,
Tio.
Everybody else
They
will
gonna
beat
make
uh,
him.
Tio versus that one dude who got knocked out.
which one?
Vargas.
Yeah, maybe
You
him
know
too.
what?
But
It's gonna be
Somebody
Tio versus Vargas.
somebody actually recommended that, and I think it was on somebody either on Ricky channel or Southern T channel. That's actually probably the best thing for TFM, to be honest, because number one, you know what you're dealing with. You know you've seen what happens when he takes power shots, etc. Number two, y'all both coming off rather troublesome losses. And at this point, I understand TFM needs more damage control, so this is a lower risk opponent. But if he's going to go up, there's, considering the current crop, unless he makes some drastic coaching changes, there's not much that can be done at 140. So I think Vargas for both of them is the best comeback fight. And that's actually the best thing smoking, because I was thinking about what's next for Tio. And personally, I couldn't come up with shit outside of maybe fucking Ryan Garcia or maybe some dudes that Lomachenko's already ran through or that Tank's already ran through. But yeah, the Josue Vargas, that's actually a positive step in the right direction for both of them, not just Teofimo, but for both of them. Because
Both of them.
I have Vargas winning that fight. I was like, oh, you'll be able to get past the
He needs
with
to
boxing
fight,
skills. Come on.
he needs to fight a few lower level 140s before he tries to go for Josh Taylor, like he's trying to say. Him and his dad they still trying to have their big heads, trying to say he can go over Josh Taylor, and he needs to get like a Mario Barrios fight, some easy step ups before he's able to go up there. Because if he can't show it against those guys, he's definitely not going to touch Josh Taylor.
He needs to stay far the fuck away from Josh Taylor at any weight. Nah, bro. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Teofimo fan, but I wouldn't even do that to him. I don't want to see him get his shit pushed in. I really don't. I didn't want to see Teofimo get beat up. One, because my reputation was on the line, and two, and two, because damn, I don't hate him personally. I don't know the motherfucker, but it is what it is.
I'll talk Haney fight.
Shit, Haney getting more disrespect than Tank, and Haney did better. That shit crazy.
Hey, Haney outboxed JoJo. That was an easy call. That he's getting there.
What y'all think, man? Y'all think Haney beats Tank?
I definitely do, and honestly, I mean, I've always thought that. I've always said that Tank folds everybody at 135 except Devin Haney, and I'm including Lomachenko and Teofimo in that bunch. But
Even if Devin Haney get hit with a left hook from Tank?
I don't know, man. Tank has too much freaking power. I mean, I
Well,
know
no.
Cruz was eating him, but Cruz is one tough motherfucker, man.
Nah, I don't, man. I've seen it. Cruz got rattled in that fight too. He just had a
Oh.
good game face, poker
Oh
face.
yeah, he got rattled for sure, but he's tough. He's a lot tougher than Haney is. I'll tell you that. Haney's got them boxing skills and everything, but man, I don't know if he can take a punch from Tank like those.
No, and nobody can. I just don't think that Tank is going to have the opportunity because to land that. Because my thing is, Cruz basically nullified one of Tank's greatest assets by simply keeping his right arm glued to his chin.
Mhm.
Haney's, and that's no disrespect to Tank. The Cruz
I ain't gonna
can't.
lie. That made Tank look like went from Superman to just man.
Well, that's because Tank was intentionally being one-dimensional because Cruz is so small. And that's why I was saying on the on the earlier show, Cruz is something that Tank isn't used to because he's a small target to hit, and there are only so many weapons you could use against him because his cross section isn't that big. Barrios is a much bigger target, so his punch diversity can be greater. So I was saying that Cruz is able to nullify one of his greatest assets by simply keeping his right arm glued to his chin. Now, like I said before, I don't think Haney's punch resistance is so good that he could withstand a shot from Tank. All I'm saying is I don't think Tank is going to get that sort of opportunity to land that uppercut. And Haney protects his body very well. He moves very well. But one of the more important things that no one ever talks about Haney is that, especially during the JoJo fight, Haney is excellent at punching between his opponent's punches.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that. While JoJo was in the pocket throwing combination, Haney was getting off uppercuts, left hooks, jab, all kinds of shit. So
I love how Haney rolls under punches, like he slips under punches for him to be taller than his opponents.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's a good strategy with Tank, of course. You just want to bag up. Of course
not.
Yeah, you just want to bag up some because eventually he's going to time the duck and then, moderate the time of his hook or his uppercut and then catch you coming in.
You know what move I love that they do? Haney and Shakur Stevenson? It's where they'll jab up top and they'll kind of they'll use their jab like a stick. And then they'll like look you in your eye and punch you right in your stomach with the right hand or either left hand, like straight.
I wouldn't recommend.
And then they'll pull back immediately so they don't get hit with your punch.
I wouldn't want Haney to try that with Tank either. That kind of shit you can't do with Tank.
but you know what I'm talking about, right? Shakur Stevenson does it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
The thing about Haney is he can punch through your punches and everything, and he's good, but he was getting caught a few times from JoJo, and JoJo's a lot slower than Tank.
Haney was hurt a couple of times. He was, especially in the 12th round, he was hurt a couple of times, but I still, I thought he neutralized JoJo to an extent, but, because JoJo would march forward, but as soon as JoJo get him on the ropes, JoJo unleashed combinations. It almost looked like what Castaño did to Charlo. You know what I mean? Like, but Devin Haney would control most of the rounds, and then all of a sudden.
Exactly. So
nobody talks about how fucking Haney punched motherfucking Diaz off of him and had Diaz stumbling back. For a guy who they say who got no power, that show looked like somebody with power can do.
They're never going to. And one of the things, and one of the things that bugs me is that, and one of the things that bothers me is that people were saying that someone like Fortuna could fuck around and sleep Devin. Diaz showed Devin more respect than he did Fortuna.
He damn sure did.
So, I mean, I understand that, power is definitely a difference maker and power is a great equalizer. But especially when we account for the history and what's currently being said about Devin as far as Tank's master plan, it seems like maybe Floyd and Camp know something that we all don't think.
Well, I don't buy. I never subscribe to they say that Devin didn't have a chin. You don't get stunned by Linares and all of a sudden he's exposed, but Loma get knocked down and no one ever called them exposed. You know what I mean? What's his name? Maidana did the same thing to Floyd the last punch of a round, and Floyd stumbled back to the corner. No one ever said Floyd exposed. You know what I mean? It happens. People get hit with hard shots. It's how they come back. It was counts. So I've never subscribed to the fact that Devin got weak chin. I did, he definitely needs his strength and his power to grow, but that's going to grow when he actually grows into his man size. Devin is younger than
I think it's
Shakur.
gonna grow.
Devin is younger than all of them. When he gets to 40 and 147, you're going to see somebody, who's developed and you know what I mean, and stronger. So,
yep.
And that's when they're gonna start claiming he on PEDs.
Yeah.
And
I'm already
they got to sell him short.
I'm already seeing that now about Haney and Errol Spence. They say Errol Spence on steroids. I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
Look at his nipples. Look at his nipples. These niggas.
Oh, Nipplegate. Yeah, I remember the Nipplegate. That was, man.
I'm like, bro, how is he on, like, okay, like when people talk about Israel Adesanya, okay, that's one thing. Maybe you can have some speculations, but bro, Errol's nipples, like they look pretty consistent to me. People are speculating that, and then like some of the Budman fans will say that. I'm like, oh my god, if y'all don't sit down somewhere with that bullshit.
They talking about pimples. Motherfucking nipples, but they fucking fighters be having big ass pimples on their back and shit. Full grown ass men with fucking acne all on their back. Where that shit come from?
A lot of these guys just like to ride that one boxer they're after. They like to just pay attention to that one boxer and try to down on every other boxer, whoever they're going against or anything like that. They're not actual boxing fans. They're just those casual fans that just like to ride that one boxer.
Yeah.
Hey, Fury was down 4 times versus Wilder. Did they ever say Fury was exposed?
Fury got dropped by a little ass fucking Steve Cunningham.
I know the cruiserweight. I know, but I never hear that term. They only reserve that term exposed for certain fighters of a certain ethnic group. That's it.
You know what? Because you know what it is. They think so highly of us. So when we're not like putting on performances where we just totally knocking somebody out, then it's you've been exposed. Somebody said Tank's power is not real.
All right, go get in there and fight that nigga then for free. No paycheck. Go expose Tank for no money down.
Yo, I'm hearing that all day. And you know my boy Champ Life. Champ Life is just like let me tell you something.
That's who. I ain't want to say his name, but that's
I'm sorry.
A fucking weirdo, bro. If I ever catch you around New Jersey, I'm shooting your bitch ass.
The dude is a racist, right? This is what I don't understand. This is, and I laugh at him. I'd never get offended by what he says because some people were just wired differently, and I just don't get it. His whole angle, and I've known this guy since I've been on Twitter since 2018, and I've known him since I've been on Twitter, and he's the same way. He doesn't hide it. You know what I mean? He is who he is.
That's the one who said what
Montero wanna be.
Yeah. He's a weirdo,
he say some weird stuff, but he was Wilder's biggest fan. He was Spence's biggest fan. Now he's saying,
Wilder's done.
Black fighters are done. This and that. Like, dude, you were the biggest fan. Neofimo, listen, and I asked him, and he'll be messing with me some stuff. He'll be pasting stuff. I just laugh at the dude. But I was like, Neofimo got beat, and all of a sudden he started lashing out.
He was big Teofimo Lopez fan, saying Teofimo gonna knock out George Kambosos. He gonna knock him out. Shit.
As soon as he lost, he went racist. As soon as T.O. lost, he started talking about black fighters. And I'm like, dude, what happened to you in your life that made you racist? You got black blood in you. You're a Latino. You got black blood in you.
And what's sad is that these guys disrespect a lot of their other fighters so focused on us. Like, for example, like Ray Vargas against Baez put on a hell of a show at 126. Like, he put on a great performance. He's got over 35. He's 35-0, 22 knockouts. He ain't getting no respect. Fucking people like Andrew Cancio and one of the dudes that his name is Cesar Martinez at flyweight. Like Benavidez ain't never getting. Like, a lot of these people are so hyper focused.
You gotta fight somebody black.
Yeah, like they're so focused on what we're doing. Like, you realize y'all disrespecting a whole stable of up-and-coming talent that needs financial support, and y'all ain't even giving it to them?
Bro, they look at this boxing shit as a team sport.
Yeah,
I don't get it, brother.
I bet I've bought more Mexican pay-per-view than most of the Mexican people talking shit about me.
We
I
had
bet.
Mexicans shitting on fucking Ruiz pay-per-view
Right,
versus another Mexican.
craziness.
In PBC, like 85% of their fighters are Mexican.
Same with
And
Floyd Mayweather Promotions.
and
They see Tank and they think it's
it,
all black. Mayweather promotes
yeah.
more Hispanic people than he does black people.
Well, I count Mayweather and PBC. They all the same. They're all one family. If you know, you know. Floyd kind of let some stuff slip that been known a while. You know what I mean? Floyd started PBC. He just don't say anything, and he opens his mouth during the press conference. I wish he hadn't. He said, "When
Because
you
he'd be
doing
like,
business with Al Heyman,
we
you
want
doing business with
Benavidez.
me because
Who's
we one in the same." But I wish Floyd would not have said anything. Most people's gonna go over their head, but Floyd is that part owner of PBC.
Yeah.
Floyd and Al Heyman started that together when they started, with Floyd. So, but either way, there's 90%, 95, 85% Mexican or Latino.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And people,
Hispanic.
and
So
people forget
I
that
have no
Mayweather tried
problem.
to
I
sign
love my
Canelo.
Hispanic brothers and sisters. But if you're going to say something ignorant, then we get to respond to your ignorance.
And people
But
forget
black
that
people get
Mayweather
called
tried to sign
racist
Canelo.
for responding. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, Mayweather tried to sign Canelo at one point. I heard through the grapevine. He tried to sign him. And then after that failed, niggas started saying that Floyd was ducking. So it's like, okay, so now I got to fight him. And then it's gonna be all weird.
Speaking of,
that would have been the best.
Did y'all see the Oh, I'm after you make this point, I'll bring it up. But I wanted to talk about the Adrian Broner tweet about possibly going to Hearn. So when you finish your point, I'll jump on that.
Nah, go ahead. You're good, man. Canelo, he should have signed with Floyd. Canelo wants to think about his money, but he didn't realize that signing with Floyd would have made him a lot more money than what he's making now.
Even if he just worked with Floyd right now, he would make a lot of money.
Working with Al Heyman is working with Floyd.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm saying.
Floyd is Canelo's boss. And you know what they was tweeting? They was like, "Oh, because Floyd was making these comments, now Canelo might not do another PBC event because of what Floyd said." Okay, and if he's that sensitive, he wanted listen, he made more money than he's ever made in his life fighting a second tier guy and Plant. No disrespect to Plant. You know what I mean? He's not the best 168.
He ain't
Benavidez is the 168, the best 168. So if he's going to throw, he probably made about $60 something million at least. You know what I mean? So you're going to throw all away because what Floyd said, "Oh, but get out of here, man." But listen, the thing about Adrian Broner tweeted to say he's coming back, he's going to be champ again, and whether it's with PBC or no, he said whether it's on Showtime or the Zone. Now, this is my problem with that. What I stated earlier, Eddie Hearn clearly stated his vow to destroy Showtime, which is the home of PBC, destroy PBC and take over American boxing and kill pay-per-view, which is the income for boxers. So Adrian Broner is saying, "I'm willing to go over to the side that's the enemy and trying to destroy the guy who made me a multimillionaire and set my family up for life."
Because he ain't trying to give me that check right now.
But I'm sorry, I can't respect that, brother. There's loyalty. There's some things you don't do. I've turned down so much money because of loyalty, brother.
That's not what AB is going. Let's keep it a buck. I don't mind AB as AB is AB, but let's keep it real. He's going over to Hearn because he knows Hearn's stable and his weight classes ain't shit. He's going over there so he can get some bread without having to really, pull W's out his ass like he used to. I'm not saying that he doesn't work for a living as a boxer. I'm not saying the sport isn't tough, but let's keep it 100. He's going over to Hearn. He's going over to Hearn because he knows the stable over there with Hearn at 140 and 147. He could really look impressive again. Whereas
Al
at PBC,
probably like, "Hey, AB, shit, I'll give you that chick. Just go ahead, just fight Boost for me."
Z,
Listen.
hell no. Or
Hell fuck no.
Fight
Go off that plane, fight Boo.
yeah, or worse, Gary
Fight Boo. Let
Antoine
me send you
Russell.
out on your retirement. Let me give you that retirement check.
Let me
Fight
give
Boo.
you a retirement
That's-
check, nigga.
that's-
Hell no, nigga. I got a
Gary
family.
Antoine. Yeah, or worse, Gary Antoine Russell. We'll give you $8 million if you go ahead and fight Gary Antoine Russell, young up and coming
Zero
prospect.
chance. Zero
Adrian-
chance he'll be Gary. If anybody y'all hear me speak, y'all know Gary Antoine Russell is one of my favorite fighters. 14 KOs. Nobody talk about his KOs. Why Better Be ever 15-0, 15 KOs. Gary Antoine Russell 14-0, 14 KOs. You don't hear a peep. So
Gary
you want to
Antoine
talk about the
Russell,
records, but you
Because
don't
that
want to
nigga
talk about
Afro is nappy. That's why.
yeah,
Gary
that's why.
Gary
But
Antoine
his
Russell will
talent is
break his
incredible.
Gary
His,
Antoine Russell will break a foot off in fucking Adrian Broner ass, and Adrian Broner
yeah,
is
he
not
will.
getting ready
He'll
to
do that
sign
same
up.
thing to Josh Taylor too.
Yeah, and
He'll
Adrian
do the
Broner,
same thing to Regis too. He's the
yeah,
best 140 to me.
yeah, and Adrian Broner is not getting ready because Al Heyman really don't even feel like paying Keith Thurman anymore. So I know, and not to mention, Al Heyman just gave Adrian Broner a check for fighting Santiago, and people said that shit was questionable, even though it did pretty solid numbers for AB's first return. And Al Heyman's like, look, bro, I can't be expending all this cheese on you. You ain't want to put in no work. You got to fight somebody real, okay?
Listen, if Adrian Broner did that, and a couple of PBC fighters went over to the zone, Danny Jacobs went over to the zone, we had no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple of them
Because I
PBC
heard
fighters
you still
that fight on the
advised
zone.
by
So
Al
my thing
Heyman,
is
though.
this: it's the way
Yeah, he
you
was.
put it. When you say Showtime or the zone, you're basically putting it out there that I'm crossing the street on you, Al Heyman, and I don't like that part. If he just because he's at the end of his career, not because of lack of talent, because of his lack of discipline and his mental state. So he's done. If you ask me, his talent there, he's done though. So I would
He looked so
I would take
bad in that Santiago
D Hop what
fight. I
you
was
just
like,
said.
yo.
What you just said. I hope Al Heyman offers him a big check to fight Boots or to fight Antoine Russell, excuse me, and send him out on his retirement because he's going to get cooked by both of them.
Somebody said that Al Heyman actually has AB on some type of plan where he has a whole bunch of money collected from AB's fights.
Oh, let me explain that.
He does.
Let me explain that.
That was at AB's behest. That was at AB's behest early in his career.
Earl Spence said that they got Roth IRAs and things of that nature. So Adrian blew a whole bunch of money, right? And then when he blew a whole bunch of money, he got arrested and he had child support. Al Heyman helped him out, whatever the case may be. So his last big check, Al Heyman made sure that the money is there, but he set him up for annuity. He don't got him on he's got him an annuity, so the money is going to keep coming. Yeah. Adrian is just not intelligent enough to understand that. Well, this man, what he said, he giving him
let's not talk about
$1,500 a day. Wait, he giving them. He said $1,500 to $2,000 a day. Nigga, that's for the rest of your life. And you complaining? That's an annuity. Your money is there, but you want to go blow it. And he said he had a gambling problem. He said he spent over $10 million gambling. He said this, so Al Heyman is looking out for him, and he won it all just like a crackhead.
Well, AB has ongoing legal issues where they're trying to claim money against him. So let's not out him about his bread situation. Let's not discuss that because he just got finished telling the judge that he ain't had no money left.
Well, they can't touch his annuities, brother. They can't do that.
With a forensic accountant, if you lose the tail end of a civil liability lawsuit and you have assets within the United States, forensic accounting can absolutely touch it.
Probably.
That's why I didn't want to talk about his financial setup because, I mean, it is what it is, but I didn't want to talk about it.
Al Heyman made sure Adrian is set for life, but he's such a listen, brothers. You know how you can say you can take. They don't use it. They say you can turn a hoe into a house. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Or you can take the brother out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the brother. Adrian Broner is one of those dudes. Like you say, he's doing it for the hood, but he's not doing it for himself. He's just not that bright. He's just not that bright. You got this man who's setting you up for life, and you want to bite the hand that feeds you. You want everything now so you can go broke and come cry for some more.
Well, I just think AB don't want to get fucked up on his way out. That's I think it's plain and simple, and that's why I'm kind of giving him a pass on the Hearn situation because I don't want to see AB get fucked up either.
But
Me
just like
either.
I
I don't want
said,
to
if
see him.
he
He
just
still
went
ain't
over
never
to
been
did it
knocked
there,
out.
listen, and
We just
listen,
seen
just
Sean
like
Porter get
Charlo,
knocked out for
Charlo
the
will go
first
over to
time.
PBC to fight. Charlo will go over to PBC to fight GGG, right? He's not going. Excuse me. Charlo will go over to zone to fight GGG, but he's not going over to the zone to fight Andre. Two different scenarios, right? Because one is a legacy fight, the other one isn't. So if the zone drew Adrian Broner over there for a fight, he would be over there for a fight. Nobody would complain. But when you put it out there, tell him about either or. I'm going to do this either with you or without you. That's biting the hand to feed you. Going over there for a fight, doing normal business, that's okay. I would support that. Oh, Adrian Adrian Broner is fighting such and such on the zone. Okay, cool. But when you put it out there on Front Street like that, that's total disrespect to Al Heyman, PBC, and everything that he's done for him.
I think that's just more so because he knows that Hearn doesn't have any actual stars at 140 and 147, and he's trying to petition to get Hearn to, to
Give
demonstrate
him a
some
big
value.
ass bag.
Yeah, to demonstrate some value because Hearn's divisions over there are dry as fuck, and AB would be the single biggest star. Plus, at the same time, Hearn gets to cover up for some of his obvious racist bullshit by saying, "Oh look, but we got AB." And to be honest with you, I'm not happy about the situation. But like for example, when Haney said that he wanted to stay with Hearn for life, that shit pissed me the fuck off. But when AB, especially considering everything you just said about him, discipline his career, I ain't gonna lie. I don't want like the same way I don't want to see Keith Thurman get demolished on his way out. I don't want to see AB get fucked up. And you know damn well that most of 140 and 147 at this time fucks his ass up. And that's just what it is. I'm sorry. I don't want to see him get fucked up.
But I want to see. I'm gonna keep it 100. As much as I have respect for Al Heyman and all them, I would love to see AB fight fucking Conor Ben, and I don't
Oh
care
god.
if it's on the zone.
He'll
I'll
get on
watch
Conor
that
Ben.
shit.
He'll get on Conor Ben ass, bro. It'll make him look stupid.
I would love to watch an AB versus Conor Ben at 147, and I don't give a fuck if it's on the zone or Showtime.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's good AB going over there because Eddie Hearn stable. If AB signed with a multi-fight deal with Eddie Hearn, Eddie Hearn is basically gonna have some sacrifices lined up.
Hey,
AB gonna beat the shit out them fucking cab drivers.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
hey, y'all remember this?
Y'all give me credit. I hope y'all just throw it on the rug because I'm gonna beat his ass. I hope y'all just give me the credit that I deserve. That's all I want.
Right. Who was you talking about there? I forgot.
Against me. Him right here, Leonard been against me. They
Oh
bitch
yeah.
ass nigga. Leonard a bitch ass nigga too. You don't disrespect me like man. Shut up. You ain't with me.
Let-
You with Jesse. I'm with Mayweather Promotions. You with yeah. You ain't with me. I'm a real one. This isn't about me. You guys got to fight. Yeah, shut that soft ass shit up. And the best man. Shut that soft. That's some soft ass shit. Shut that soft ass shit up. All that soft talking. I know you can do it.
No, you can do it. You got this. You got this.
Shut that soft ass
You
shit
can
up.
do it.
How about this? If you're victorious Saturday.
Bro, if
Yeah,
this nigga
and
was a better
Leonard.
fighter, if this nigga AB had the skills to back up his mouth, he'd be the biggest star on the planet.
But that's the worst part. He does have the skills. He just doesn't fucking apply himself. And he got traumatized, much like Danny Jacobs did with Pirog from the Maidana situation. They got touched up one time. All of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, I ain't throwing my hands ever again." It's
Man,
like,
a lot of people feel like it because I'm funny. They say he has some funny style gloves.
Hey, Southern T brought that up. Southern T was like, I feel like we all as a community failed Adrian Broner with that glove situation because Maidana's camp literally said these are the same exact gloves we used for Adrian Broner. And my first thought was, nigga, what the fuck is you doing not getting new gloves? What? Who does that? Who uses the exact same pro fight gloves they just motherfucking used for another fight? What kind of sick bullshit is that?
You know, I feel like some of these fighters that's non-black from the Latino community are inspired by Maidana's little run because he beat AB and then he challenged Floyd Mayweather and he could have won, but he didn't. And I feel like
We're demanding that
they're
fight
looking
too.
for the next fighter to do that.
people were demanding for that fight too. The Floyd Mayweather haters. It's like, ah, shit, he took out Floyd's boy, so he can take out Floyd too. Take out the boss.
Yeah, you beat up both of them loud mouth black niggas. Now we on top again for
And
sure.
you know what's funny? People gave Floyd all types of shit for that nonsense, but then fast forward to Canelo versus Triple G. Triple G specifically said that Canelo cannot use his now famous no boxing, no life gloves because A, they had never been used in a championship fight before, which is a dumbass reason to reject some gloves that are approved by the commission, but they let that slide. And B, what most people don't realize, I guess, is that Canelo's gloves are horsehair. So and Triple G made him wear winning gloves in both fights, which are the same ones that Tank wore against Leo Santa Cruz and Cruz the other day. So it's
That
funny because
video, yeah, the highlight to that fight has 41 million views. It's titled Marcus Maidana teaches Adrian Broner a lesson about respect.
exactly, and you know what? Southern T had a point. Maybe we all did fuck up, to be quite honest. Maybe we fucked up by not listening to Tony Harrison about Jamel Charlo, and we fucked up by not backing AB. We never revisited the fucking issue. And we also didn't pay attention when Triple G was picking Canelo's gloves, and we didn't get on his ass. So you know, maybe we did drop the ball as a community, which is why I've had my magnifying glass on all the bullshit recently because I ain't forget shit.
Man, I swear, ever since all this shit, dude, I just be looking at boxers, that body tone, I look at their gloves, everything, because it's just like, dude, either you on the Pez or you got some funny style gloves going on. I literally witnessed this shit right in front of my eyes here in Minnesota at the Fox fight.
Shaqy Foster. Oh, the Mastre and Fox. Okay.
Yeah, like, dude, it's crazy. And they talking about who approved these gloves. I don't know. What you mean you don't know? So nobody's gonna get to the bottom of this? Y'all just gonna lead us up open for debate, huh?
Yeah, it's just craziness, and it's funny because the media doesn't report these things. Like people, no, that's incorrect, Eric Gomez. If you look at the gloves, the second fight, were also winning gloves. They just had his Canelo Alvarez label on it. They didn't have no boxing, no life on it. Because if you look at that fight, all the rest of his gloves have a no boxing, no life tab on it with Hencho in Mexico at the bottom. I only know because I was thinking about copping a pair because there's some fly ass gloves, to be quite honest. I haven't bought them yet because I don't want to be disrespectful. But but they look like some nice ass gloves to use on the bag. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, no, those are also winning gloves. They just had his finished Canelo label on them. But yeah, Triple G got to pick his gloves for both fucking fights. And keep in mind, Triple G didn't even win. And you know, Canelo was going up in weight, and Canelo was Canelo, and Triple G still exerted A-side privileges. But all of a sudden, and Triple G hadn't put in half the work that Canelo did. But everyone says, "Oh, Canelo's the ultimate A-side," so let's not even discuss gloves. And it's like, yeah, but when Mayweather does it, all of a sudden it's horrible. Fast forward Triple G, and it's funny because even Mexican fans didn't jump on Triple G's ass. Even Mexican fans, Canelo fans, all the fans of Canelo didn't get on Triple G's ass for that. And I'm like, bruh, y'all just like Maidana's fucking Argentinian.
I mean,
and y'all got on Mayweather ass.
To their credit, they did give him a little bit of feedback. They're saying, "Oh, Triple G's being a big crybaby, complaining." They're saying shit like that.
That was nothing compared to what they do. Floyd, they were like, he's a big old bitch. He would get knocked out if the gloves were different. He almost got stopped. He's a pussy, blah, blah, blah. Like, they still talk about that shit today. They still talk about it today when he got rocked in the corner toward the second half of the fight. When Maidana anticipated his straight right, slipped it and put in a straight right of his own, and they say he knocked his tooth out.
They be making all types of fake memes. Maidana wears a chain of Floyd's tooth.
They still talk about that today, but the Triple G picking Canelo's gloves for two fights in the same exact situation. They're like, huh? That didn't happen. Like even the dude in the chat was like, oh no, he wore his gloves the second fight. No, he didn't. That's what I think they forget. No, he wore winning gloves both Triple G fights because he had no fucking choice. Triple G was like, hell nah, nigga. You're not finna tag me up with no horsehair. You fucking crazy.
He was trying to knock
Speaking
that
of the
boy.
horsehair, you know when they showed that they cut the gloves open with Wild and Fury, and And even though Wilder didn't make us think about it, and they said, okay, we're going to wear the same gloves, that was cheating.
Yeah,
That was still
bro.
cheating, and nobody knows. Like, if you look at those, all you did, they moved the hair, and his knuckles was clearly exposed.
And then
So
they try
Fury was
to
still
make it
cheating with
seem
those
like
gloves based on a. Go ahead.
they try to make it seem like oh, the gloves just come like this. Look, we have multiple pair. No, you got multiple pair of faulty ass fucking gloves sitting on the damn table.
Remember, they said his hands got strong because he was dipping them in gasoline. How come we never heard that excuse again? Oh, I'm going to dip them in gasoline like the old days.
Man,
we haven't heard that lie again.
I always think about it. I always think about it. I honestly believe like Wilder making that to this day comment was like a blessing and a curse.
And you know what's interesting? While we're on the glove situation, I just want to say with the Wilder glove situation, y'all remember when the dude on the commission tape was talking about, oh, Wilder's gloves are harder though? Wilder's gloves are harder? No. Wilder's gloves were solid.
That was the dumbest thing I ever heard, man.
Yeah, Wilder's gloves were solid.
Are harder.
Wilder's gloves were solid because Wilder's gloves were solid because they were packed with EVA foam, which is the new thing that's been put up in boxing to protect fighters' hands and mostly protect health, because with horsehair, you get more punch transference, whereas with EVA foam, you get more hand protection and it bounces off. And that's one of the things I was going to point out, because people are now talking about, oh, Tank wearing off-brand gloves. No, Tank wears winning gloves, the most expensive and protection-oriented gloves in boxing, and that's why he broke his hand. He broke his hand not because the gloves didn't work, but he broke his hand because as opposed to transferring all his force to Cruz's wrist and probably breaking Cruz's wrist, the EVA foam deflected Tank's hand from his power, which is why the last fight when he wore the no boxing, no life gloves, if he was wearing Canelo's gloves during this fight with horsehair, Cruz might not be here right now. He might have took his goddamn head off with that punch. And the only reason why Cruz is still even talking, breathing air right now, most likely, is because Tank decided to wear an EVA foam glove that deflected his power as opposed to transferring it onto Cruz's damn neck.
Man, Tank hit Cruz with a fucking vicious left hook that had his shit. That had that motherfucking head. This is a still image of it too. That had his motherfucking head rocking like a motherfucker, dude. But he got a fucking strong ass chin and he took that shit.
I'm sorry, that nigga looks special to me.
What? Who?
He looks special to me.
Who?
Oh,
who looks special?
He said Cruz looks special.
Oh, a little Down syndrome-ish? Is that what you're saying?
Oh my God.
Is that what you're saying?
Huh?
He do got that fearless look though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Are you saying like the little Down syndrome type of look thing?
Like no emotion.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I noticed that he might, and they be strong too.
Yeah.
Hey,
y'all saying Cruz retarded.
I ain't gonna say it, but he got that look. He could be. He could be.
I think he's
just
short.
Strong.
I think he's just short. He real little. When you're real compact, your eyes look close together. I don't think there's nothing wrong with him. I just think
I think Cruz will give Garcia hell.
Look, Cruz might be on a spectrum. He might be on the spectrum.
Nah, they're gonna make Cruz into a star. They're gonna have Cruz on fucking Ruiz.
I like Cruz.
Which Garcia?
I told you before the fight. Cruz is good. Cruz is better than both Raleigh and Ryan. He got more skill, and he's good. And I said this.
You think Cruz
I never
can
saw him fight before, and just watching it, I said, and I watched him. I watched the way he plant his foot, how it generates his power, how his movement, his turtle shell. You know what I mean? Defense.
And I said,
that's why I said he's so compact, and with that defense, it's gonna be hard for Tank to knock him out. That's why, before the fight, I said I think this is going to go the distance.
Do you hear me though?
No, what did you say?
Do you think Cruz beat Jojo Diaz?
Yes, 100%.
By stoppage?
Bro, he was
Um,
gonna walk through JoJo.
well, yeah, because JoJo going to try to fight him. You see how JoJo was walking Devin down? Let him try that against Cruz. Cruz has the leverage. What Tank said? Tank said he was so short and he was punching down. So if he was at disadvantage for Tank, what do you think he's going to be for JoJo? I'm telling you, he's at knee level to a lot of these fighters when he crouched down.
I
So,
got JoJo by split decision on that.
well,
that's what I'm
I say,
thinking.
I say Cruz going. I say Cruz going to knock him out just because JoJo going to try to be tough.
The
I
only
low-key-
reason,
Yeah.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I low key think Dev was trying to prove a point and eating this nigga JoJo's punches on purpose, just to
Yeah, he
prove that he
was.
got a chin.
He was.
He ain't doing that shit to somebody who has respectable power. So what do you
Yeah,
think
'cause-
Cruz gonna do?
And you know what I noticed in that Devin fight? Devin wasn't like a Lara in that fight where he was sticking and kept on bouncing around the ring.
He was
He was
backing
right
Diaz
there in
up
front
some.
of JoJo.
Yep.
He's backing him up some. Yeah.
Yep.
The only reason I say Diaz by split decision is solely, and I mean solely, based on his Gary Russell Jr. experience.
Yeah.
If he hadn't fought Gary Russell Jr., I would say, oh yeah, Cruz gonna get on his ass and it's gonna be over with.
Nah, he was on some y'all don't know pain. Pain is getting your ass kicked by Gary Russell.
Yeah,
that's how his ass was on that. When they asked him after the fight, they said, "So was this your toughest fight?" He said, "Nah, nigga, fighting Gary Russell was my toughest fight." What?
Exactly.
Because that nigga was getting on my ass.
if he hadn't fought Gary Russell, I'd be like, oh yeah, Tank Cruz gonna lay JoJo ass to rest, and it's gonna be probably go 9 good rounds with Diaz getting some good shots off, but Cruz gonna get him out of there no sweat. But he fought Gary Russell, and I'm like, okay, so that little short, quick situation, especially when you're also dealing with someone who can punch and is a talented boxer, I think that Diaz has learned enough from that situation to get a split decision off.
I never gave JoJo Diaz any shot against Devin. So I didn't know what all the hype was. Remember, he's coming up from 26. When Tank fought Leo Sanders, he fight the 26er. Well, actually, he held the 30 belt, and you know what I mean. And then he fight the 118 pounder. Actually, he hasn't been 118 since 2013. You know what I mean? So my whole thing is they say all of this, but they never the fact that he coming up. He just came up from 126. I think he fought 2 fights at 130.
It's the thing is they always say he been struggling with that weight though, and he already struggling with this weight.
Yeah, JoJo Diaz has missed weight like 3 times.
I was never sold on JoJo Diaz.
Hey, they didn't have that same energy for Rigo and Loma.
Oh hell no! They had Rigo on the show for fucking years until they found someone that they thought might be able to beat Rigo and happened to be Loma. So they're like, "Hey, you want to come up 2 weight classes for a check? Go, come on. We got you a fight now."
And that was the most boringest fight one of the most boringest fights I ever seen in my life.
Dude, it's like the anniversary of that because I'm getting memories on my Facebook.
Watch that fight, you will fall asleep. It's like paint dry. Nothing happened spectacular in that fight. Nope, you know what I mean? It was just a cat and mouse game. Rigo was basically down, bobbing and weaving at the canvas. You know what I mean? There was nothing. But Loma did nothing in that fight. But Rigo quit because of his. Listen. Rigo quit because of his hands. What did Tank do because of his hands?
He fought, but I don't think he really quit because of his hand.
Yeah, I think he quit because he was old, didn't want to take punishment, and he was exhausted more than anything.
He didn't take any punishment.
But he didn't want to take any punishment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because if you're exhausted against Loma, he'll finish you.
Look, when I was watching the build-up for that fight, man, Rigo was looking real good training, real good. I mean, like, oh my God. I'm like, man, this guy's looking like a fucking, the beast out there with the IQ and all. Man, we get to the weigh-in. I see them in the weigh-in. I said, oh, no, this ain't it. Fucking Lomachenko. I have never seen Lomachenko look that big compared to anybody.
Yeah. Rigo is a natural 118 pounder, which is why he was able to cut back down while being almost 40. People were asking Rigo, people were trying to bring up the steroid bullshit with Rigo. They were like, oh my God, at this age, how can you cut down to that weight? And I'm like, bitch, because that's what his natural weight class is.
But you see what Rigo did though? They couldn't imagine Lomachenko doing what Rigo did.
Fuck no. Lomachenko don't even want to go back down there to 130 after talking all that shit because he realized Stevenson ain't bullshit and Stevenson will fight him. And now he don't even know what the hell he gonna do because Stevenson said, "Oh shit, Bob trying to make Loma 35. I don't give a fuck. I just had a daughter. I'm trying to get some paper. Bring Loma punk ass on." And Lomachenko like, shit. All right, well let me go ahead and get Comey and then talk about Cambosis and I am getting older. Maybe I should consider wrapping it up. I'm like, nah, nigga. You got to get your ass up a few more times before you go
Boy,
ahead.
Lomachenko
And
fans is
Rigo
funny as hell because
and
they already
Rigo is
talking.
fighting at 118 today. That's a telling story.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was never that big. He had to eat his way into those damn weight classes to make it. That's why he still looks so little. They're like, oh my God, Rigo might be on the juice. I'm like, no, he went back down to his natural fucking weight. The hell you talking about?
I actually like Loma as a fighter. I just don't like some
me
of his
too.
fans. He's
He
fun to
cool.
watch.
I have no issues with him as a fighter. I never slandered his skills. I just don't think he's the best.
I've,
Um,
I've
and,
Media
slandered
made
his skills,
Americans
to be honest.
dislike him.
I hate the propaganda artificially anointing that they did around him.
You know
That's
who
my
his biggest
issue.
fan is?
I never said he was a bum, never,
Oh
but
my
he's
God.
not the best, and he hasn't proven he's the best. You don't fight all C-level fighters and call
Is he the
yourself number
Sugar Ray
one.
Leonard of our generation?
Yeah, Teddy
Oh,
Atlas.
he's the Muhammad
Who?
Ali of
Like
our
white
generation.
Jesus.
Who?
Loma's like white Jesus.
Lomachenko is the Muhammad Ali of this
Man, y'all better get
generation,
out of my face with that.
according to Teddy Atlas. According to Teddy
Y'all
Atlas,
better get out of my face with that.
Hey,
Fighting a Luke Campbell for a vacant WBC title is all world.
hey, Tony
Fighting Anthony
Bellew.
Corolla,
That's not the crazy thing I heard. Tony Bellew
fighting
said that
Linares and Pedraza. This is
right.
what number one pound for pounds do. Duck Devin Haney with your mandatory, and also he ducked Burchelt 130. Burchelt was his mandatory for the WBA.
He would dominated Burchell. But the Tony Bellew, he said the craziest shit. He said that he beat Floyd Mayweather, or he's better than
Oh
Floyd
yeah,
Mayweather.
you should see the video I made about that.
they did
What
an
is Tony
interview.
Bellew? Is he
They
mixed?
did. Yeah, he's black British with some or
Not black.
Polynesian. He's a Polynesian mixture. But what's
Yeah.
crazy is that they did an interview with Lomachenko, asking Lomachenko, "What do you think about Floyd Mayweather? Do you think you'd be able to beat him?" This nigga said, "To be honest, I really don't know. I have no formula to beat Floyd Mayweather." And keep in mind, this is at a time when he just moved up to 130, talking about moving up to 135. He was supposed to be a mastermind genius. They were showing all this bullshit footage of him doing all these mathematical equations and hand games. And then they asked him about Floyd Mayweather. They're like, honestly, I really don't have a plan to beat the nigga, to be honest. I really have to just see what's going on and fuck around and do something while I'm in the ring. Because at this point, there's no training camp. There's no level of sparring. There's no strategy that we have in this camp to defeat Floyd Mayweather. You just got to try. And then people...
Bob Arum is a master businessman. When he looks at Lomachenko, he looks at an untapped market, which is the white audience. The white people
But
don't
that's
really
just not it's not transferring.
Yeah.
I just did a little go on my Twitter. I just posted a video of Lomachenko arriving in NYC, and I was just being sarcastic. I said, "Look at Lomachenko swarmed by fucking fans. Man, I bet you he sold a whole bunch of tickets. Hell no, he ain't sell shit.
He's so little, they probably think he's a damn kid they running up on.
They
To
probably
be
think
quite
he's a
honest.
fucking jockey.
Yeah, like he's so little, and I'm not gonna cap. I'm not gonna cap. I slandered his skills. I slandered his skills because they were giving him credit for using an angular attack, like he invented this shit. I'm like, bro,
like we ain't never seen Mike Tyson do that shit.
I'm like, when Mike Tyson was using angles on motherfucker, they said Mike Tyson couldn't box. They were like, oh, and keep in mind, Teddy Atlas helped train this nigga.
Ain't that some shit?
Because he's doing a river dance. Look, he's doing a river dance for his feet. So they think he's look at him, look at his movement, look at his feet movement. All right, come on,
hey,
brother.
that's the only thing.
Y'all really salivating, bustling over his foot movement?
Like black fighters have been doing that shit for centuries.
And it's funny because they always say that Usyk is the heavyweight Lomachenko, and I'm like, you know what? Y'all are right. And that's exactly why he would never want to see Wilder. Because if he got in there with Wilder, he would do exactly what Teofimo did with Lomachenko and be scared shitless for the first whole half of the fight, not throwing shit because he don't know when that right hand gonna come in and end this whole damn thing. not throw punches, and then allow Wilder to either slide to a very late stoppage or a decision because he just didn't do shit and threw away half the fight.
Exactly. And people don't understand styles make fights. They think, oh, because a fucking giant coke ogre can take Wilder's fucking crazy right hand, that means everybody else could.
Yeah.
If everybody else could, they would have did it. Shit.
I'm telling, and then people like, okay, I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. The punch that Wilder hit Fury with, the one that knocked him down, and you could see the whole energy transfer down his body, that shit will damn near kill the average human being.
Yeah.
Or
That's
permanent
right.
injury.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm actually so curious to see Fury's next fight, bro. Because I want to see if that took a lot of toll on him. Took a toll on him.
When you're on drugs, I mean, it doesn't affect you the same way. When you're on stimulants, when you're on probably PEDs, the fight game don't have enough wear and tear on you until you finally taper off. So we're not going to see the after effects of that until Fury is slurring his speech after he retires.
And I don't know. That's what I'm saying. What if it comes about right now? What if he does not stay active? You never know.
Nigga gonna start talking like Stallone. You know, so like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, they gonna talk about how his great wars with Wilder.
All that money he got made. I don't think any fighter in fucking history outside of maybe Mayweather has made that much bread in 3 damn fights. They're definitely probably not in fucking heavyweight history.
Yeah, a little bit off topic, but y'all saw how Undertaker was rooting for Fury, and y'all know,
that's
that niggas, yeah, and you know he's like MAGA and everything. So I think it's funny how it's America first until this situation.
They all do that. That's why they all ride Lomachenko dick with whoever he fight. They ride Triple G dick whoever he fight, unless it's Canelo. They were fucking oh my god. Y'all remember when Joe Smith Jr. knocked out an old ass Hopkins? How much? Oh my god, they were all just riding Joe Smith Jr. dick.
Yeah,
oh
he said he'll never lose to a white boy.
Yeah,
Look what this white boy did to him.
56-year-old.
On Facebook of them saying Bernard Hopkins is a racist who got beat up. What type of stupid shit is that? They call a descendant of slavery racist.
Yeah, they said the same shit about Devin Haney because he said the same shit. I'm like, bro, Alan Minter said he would never lose to a Negro in the 80s, and Marvin Hagler went over to England and beat his ass like Marvin Hagler had some shit to do afterwards. But nobody talks about that. So
he said like, he said I'd never lose to a Negro.
Yeah, he said I'll never lose to a Negro. I'll be damned, and I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna put this Hagler's ass in the dirt. And
when he said that, I know other white folks was probably looking at him like, boy.
Yeah.
No, they were looking at him like that conceited. How he looks like, like he looking like, man, I don't know about that one.
Like of all the Negroes fighting at middleweight right now, not sure that one might have been the one to say that shit with. And as y'all saw, he fucking threw his ass in the dumpster. I don't even think his career was the same since.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and it was crazy.
Has that nigga ever been hurt in his whole career?
Marvin Hagler?
Yeah, like has he ever been stumbled? Like, well, I think Hearns hurt him.
Well, that was a war. He took it. He was getting crushed. Obviously, he was bleeding, all of that. He didn't appear to be visibly hurt, but you could see the punches that Hearns was throwing that he.
Yeah. Yeah, Hagler has only been rocked me noticeably in the fights because he's such an older fighter that there's not a lot of quality, super good tape these days. But he's been hurt with Duran. He's been hurt with Hearns, of course, because Hearns is like fucking.
That African dude hurt him too, right?
I was gonna say the
Mugabe.
Yeah. Mugabe got on his ass for a few rounds, to be quite honest. And some people were saying the decision was debatable. I watched the fight twice. I think Hagler won, but some of them rounds, it was like, Hagler, if you don't put your fucking hands up, boy, if you don't figure some shit out, man, you're going to get stopped.
That was a war.
Who y'all think would win, Hagler or Canelo?
Bro,
even with Canelo on the cleanse.
Bro.
Please, he would ball the hell out of Canelo. See, Hagler, his jab was underrated. You think of him as a brawler, pressure fighter, but he had his jab. He just constantly stuck that jab.
And why do you feel like a lot of people feel like older fighters will beat these new guys.
Hagler took Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns was the fucking Deontay Wilder of middleweight with elite level boxing skills. And Hagler took his right hand flush for the for the first 2 rounds, and then I believe in the third one it was over, or maybe it was the fifth. I'm not quite sure. I believe in the third round it was all over. But he took that shot. Canelo, I don't care if he's wearing bricks. Canelo ain't gonna really. If you couldn't get wobble Triple G, you're not gonna rock no Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler will break Canelo's goddamn neck.
And you know what I think it is too? Why a lot of people feel like that? Because it's the thing that fighters today just don't have that grit. That nigga, I can go 15 rounds with you if I had to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wilder's
got it. Them 15 rounds, bro. That's some championship stuff.
Let's be real. Out of fighters today, how many fighters you think can go 15 rounds? I think Terrence Crawford versus Bud, if he didn't get stopped, he probably could have won 15 rounds. I think Errol Spence versus Sean Porter
definitely go 15.
Could have won. I think Errol Spence versus Sean Porter could have won 15 rounds.
Sean Porter wouldn't have won no 15. Errol would have stopped his ass.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if he came to just pure gas tank, I think both of them can go 15 rounds.
I think Maga Charlo's got a good gas tank.
Who?
And then
Maga Charlo.
Whopper Jr.
And then
Maga.
Look. And
Double Jamel.
I said, can you imagine Triple G versus Canelo 15 rounds? They said, boy, Triple G probably killed Canelo.
They were both
15 rounds.
I mean, yeah, Triple G is better on the stamina and even in his older age. But that's because, fucking Canelo got the kneecaps of an old woman. So, he always got to wear tape and shit, and, But Gary Russell Jr. probably go 15 rounds. Easy. Gary Russell Jr. got so much damn energy.
And let's be real, some of these boxers.
We talking about 15 rounds. I spoke on it earlier, but Tank's stamina in that fight was incredible. The 12th round looked like the first round, the way he was dancing around, sticking and moving and spinning. People don't give him the credit. He missed weight officially once, where he lost his the IBF on the scales in 2017. They still talk about his weight till this day.
Till this day.
He had to weigh in twice for the Gamboa, but he made weight. He did not miss weight. Shakur just missed weight. Not 2 fights ago, Shakur missed weight. You know what I mean? And he had to weigh in again. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't go down official, but they pick and choose who they want to talk about this weight issue. But I just say this to say that I'm so proud of Tank's maturation. You can see it even when he's speaking. He's more comfortable speaking when Floyd is not dominating the topic. You know what I mean? When he's a different person when he's not with Floyd, when he's going to hold his own. I'm so proud of his maturation, but his stamina in that 12th round was A+.
I made smart investments.
Who else you think can go 15 rounds? You think
current fighter?
I'm talking about active fighters.
Yeah, Benavidez probably could.
I think Benavidez can go. I think Jamal Charlo can go too. He just got the last fight, Montiel. He threw the most he's ever thrown. You know what I mean? He landed the most he's ever thrown. You know what I mean? He broke his hand. Another person who broke his hand, they don't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So
his hand,
and he finished the fight.
How Tank hand looked, all fat and swollen, like.
Right. He broke his hand, and people want to give Montiel a moral victory because he didn't go down. I'm so sick of it. If you look at the punch stats, you know what I mean? He landed half the punches Charlo landed. You know what I mean? And it was pretty much a wipeout. You know what I mean? He had a couple of good rounds, and he kept coming like a robot, but he was getting tagged, and Charlo broke his hand.
Well, Maul was too busy
I think Charlo
sucking.
Can do the 15.
Maul was too busy sucking Canelo dick to put that information really out there. I mean, he put it out there barely, but he was too busy trying to talk, Benavidez and Canelo. Like, he too busy focusing on the wrong shit. He needs to worry about his own damn career instead of trying to suck some dick out here.
Pretty much.
Shit, it's like you're not gonna get the fight, motherfucker. It's done. Just let it go and figure some shit out. Or in fact, when Canelo vacate,
he gonna get Canelo. PBC trying to line that up now, and he's gonna beat Canelo.
Shit. I
This
don't even. I
McAfee
have no
fight is
interest
just
in the
like
fight.
it's irritating though, dude. Like
I don't like his
I
energy.
feel like it's a time waster.
It is. He's in his prime right now. Canelo don't plan on fighting that much longer. And honestly, I don't know where he's going to come down to, where he's going to drag Jamal up to. But I know, much like AB, unfortunately, he's not too tight up top. So he's gonna be like, oh, some money. Oh hell yeah! And he gonna fuck around and fuck your career up with all them damn PEDs and shit.
Okay, so if he never fights him, Canelo is officially a duck. Well, he's already a duck because he ducked him from 154, 160, and Charlo willing to go to 168. My thing is drop the 160 franchise belt. Well, I'm sick of you'll see Canelo's name listed as 160 franchise if you don't plan on going back down, drop it. That's to me again another WBC racist trick that have Canelo always above them. And it's just, I don't know, man. That just bothers me. If you're never going to fight at 160, why do you have a 160 franchise? And you don't have a 168 franchise?
Well, that's the thing about the franchise belt. It's not actually a belt. It's a designation, which means that it follows you wherever you go. So it's wherever.
No, but I get that. And I've made videos. I've made plenty. I probably made over 100 videos on that. But the thing about it is, if you're not going to fight 160, remove the franchise belt at 160. If you want to get the franchise at 168, whatever you're going to do, the fights where you're fighting that, the weight. But no, if he's never going to fight at 160, remove him. You're trying to make logic out of an illogical situation. They all want us to be brainwashed and programmed to believe that the franchise is something that's, hey, we got to validate this franchise as something that was won in a boardroom. They called Devin Haney the email champion. Well, was this the fax champion? You know what I mean? Was this the PowerPoint presentation champion? Like, how do you get a belt that you never fought for? You dropped the 160 belt. You know what I mean?
You know what
you dropped that.
You know what I want to know? Why are they mandating, especially after Tank just broke his hand and they know this information? Why is the WBA mandating Tank versus Kambosos in a fight that I'm pretty confident, considering they only have a year to get everything set up, probably won't take place next year for multiple reasons. Why are they mandating that shit?
But they did it already?
According to some official sources, they've mandated that. Why are they mandating that shit?
Well, remember I told you that was the deal.
Well, no,
remember I told you that was the deal. The WBA made him do that because they was going to mandate the teal.
No,
so it's the same thing. That is the reason. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I understand that. But why are they not mandating David Morrell Jr. at 168 for Canelo's belt? Because David Morrell, most people don't realize that even though he's only had like 5-6 fights, David Morrell Jr. is the WBA regular at 168. Why are they so quick?
I've never seen him fight before. I've never seen him fight.
A lot of people haven't. But I'm like, why are they so quick to try to mandate Tank after he got injured to Kambosos, but they won't have that same energy with David Morrell Jr., who is currently the WBA regular at 168 underneath Canelo Alvarez? I'm just like, so y'all gonna mandate an injured Tank who's got a lot of issues coming up next year, but David Morrell Jr.'s healthy ass, y'all not gonna mandate him on Canelo. Interesting. Very interesting.
That's the whole thing. What they did. The WBA did Ugas wrong, did him dirty, making him. He's supposed. Remember, the super belt is supposed to not have any mandatories, and this is the reason why I hate when people disrespect the WBC World Championship belt, the one they call regular, because it was the original belt. That's the belt that all the legends held. Lennox Lewis is the one who, made the suggestion and the reason why they have that now, so they won't have to fight mandatories. Well, guess what? If they took away the WBC World Championship belt, the one that y'all call the regular, then guess what? The WBA wouldn't have no mandatories. Would y'all be happy with champions who don't have mandatories?
I wouldn't. That's just stupid because isn't that the rules of boxing?
So that's my point. So how can we disrespect the WBA world, the one that Tanks hold, the one that Sugar Ray Leonard held, the one that all these people held, the one Mike Tyson held. So why are we disrespecting the WBA World Championship belt because it's not the Super? That's the. I'm sorry, maybe y'all disagree, but that's the only WBA belt that's going to have the mandatories. The Super don't have mandatory, and I think if you're going to be a champion, you got to be. People work their way up for the rankings for
Right,
a
to
reason,
fight you.
and if you're
That's
not
the
going to
point of the
mandate it, then
game.
guess what? Huh?
People act like, man, boxing, like, people forget that there's certain rules to this shit. It's just so corrupt. People forget the rules that, yes, the champion, you become a champion. Then there's guys that fight underneath to become your mandatory. And then you give them an opportunity. And then if they beat you, they're the champion. What
I
happened to
need the
that? That's
PBC to
just
come up
like,
with
that's
their
not
belt.
even the game no more.
It's supposed to be the king on some king of the hill shit.
This
The
shit.
fight the best. And if they do away with the world champ, the regular belt, then guess what? Then just like you doing guys, then you make sure that they have a fight off, and the super person has to fight the basically the number one, number two should fight each other, and then they get a chance at the title. That's how it should be mandated. You can't just slot somebody who all of a sudden came from number 6 to number 1 and say you get the title next. No, the
Like, I
number
literally
1,
came from
number
watching
2.
Staniosis fight an old ass Collazo to now you saying he got to fight Ugis in less than 30 days or what? Nigga, what type of
ain't
shit
the
is
person
that?
ain't the person been this week for Ugas and Stanionis?
Yeah.
I think
Shit,
they need to
man.
take the WBA to court. The WBA bylaws, their own rules is Ugas is not supposed to have any mandatories. So if Canelo don't have any mandatories, but you ain't can Ugas, and he just won and he just fought Manny Pacquiao. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, you're trying to take him out of commission for 2022. You know why? Because they do not want Earl Spence and Bud to fight for undisputed. Because if Bud and Earl Spence fight for undisputed, that will be the, you know what I mean? That is the Super Bowl of boxing. That is number 1 versus number 2, which we rarely get, and that would be. That person would be considered the best
And
in
the
boxing. And think about
energy will
this:
be
it would
way
be
different
Bud's
from a
second
Canelo.
undisputed, and it will be Earl's first, which is so historic. It has never, you know what I mean? It's never been done before. So this is the reason why that they're trying to hide. They trying to put that out. You know why? Another reason is because they want Usyk to fight for the undisputed before Spence and Bud. Because once Bud is crowned the second undisputed, they can't keep denying because they don't even talk about his undisputed. They act like it doesn't exist.
No, they want Usyk. I mean, they want Ugas gone. I don't think they want him for undisputed. I think they want Ugas gone from the equation, which is why they're giving them two tough Mandos instead of just
Back to
one.
back.
Yeah, they don't want him fighting for undisputed at all. They want him gone, and they think that these Eastern Europeans are going to step up and challenge Spence and Crawford in some kind of way. That's the real move, I think.
Well, that's my point.
And
That's
they're
my
gonna
point.
allow
They want
these
him out of the
Eastern
picture, but they
European
don't
dudes.
want Spence to get that belt now. They don't want to see a Spence versus Bud for undisputed. I'm sorry, y'all. I be getting in so many Twitter wars about this. Why do you maybe somebody on this panel can express this? Why would you guys want Spence versus Crawford to fight now instead of for undisputed? To me, my opinion is sort of like a anticlimactic. Spence and Crawford winner fights somebody for undisputed.
Yeah, but
Notice
we
to
gotta
somebody.
get
It
this
doesn't even
Ugis
matter.
fight. We gotta get this Ugis fight, but they're not trying to
That's why
allow that
Spence need to
shit.
fight for that Ugas before he fight Bud.
Well, the biggest thing is especially on Twitter, is the prevailing opinion about why people want Bud and Spence now is because most people are worried that Bud gonna duck. That's just I'm not saying that's my personal opinion, but the prevailing opinion is a lot of people think that Bud, if it don't happen next, Bud gonna start fighting somebody else on another network, whether that be PBC or not, and then get into a string of fights, and then in 2 years' time start talking about, oh, well, I'm getting older, it's time for me to retire, blah 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 blah. So the prevailing opinion is that Bud gonna duck.
But see, if you ask me, my opinion on that, people giving opinions of why they think it won't happen. Let's talk about what's going to happen. Let's talk about making it happen. I've never ever looked at, this fighter should, I've never looked at it from that perspective of what could happen if this person move up. No. I just see them, the two best welterweights, in a generational defining fight for undisputed. It will be global. It builds boxing. The reason why the boxing establishment don't want that is because then all of a sudden they will have to acknowledge, guess what? These black American fighters, I guess they do sell. These black American fighters, I guess they also, they can fight. I guess they can be superior. I
Man,
guess they can do
checkmate.
this. But
It's
they
this,
don't want to
man.
do that because they still want to sell this Eastern European dream. Like Paulie said, this is the Eastern.
It's like this, man. They don't want these guys to be on top. They don't want another Money Mayweather, a guy who controls boxing, a guy who, if he don't go on, the show doesn't go on. They don't want that shit. Like the whole Wild. I was talking about this earlier. The whole Wilder with the glove situation. How the commission basically said, "Nigga, regardless of what Wilder say, he's still going on. The fight's still going on." Can you imagine the commission saying some shit like that to Mayweather? Fuck no. There's no way. What you mean I can't? What? I can't tell you this guy he can't have this type of glove on. Then I'm just not fighting. And the people came here to see me. The fuck?
That was so racist.
All the
Well,
money
your
gone.
gloves are harder.
Right.
I've never seen such delusional. That's straight up cheating. Well, we're going to give him the thin gloves, but your gloves are harder.
They tried to say Tank Glove cheated Leo Santa Cruz and in this fight. I'm like,
And it's what's
bruh.
so crazy. The WBC said that shit, bro. The
Again,
WBC said, and then they said they was hacked.
man, PBC just need to come for a belt. That way, if they got a PBC champion that don't have to worry about the other belts, maybe the PBC belt won't be recognized for a part of Undisputed, but that doesn't even matter. It's just the fact that you get to fight the best, and show something for your efforts. Because I'm sick of this rat race that they're doing, that they change the rules at every turn, at every interval. Like I said, with the they're basically stopping Earl Spence and Bud for Undisputed by playing a chess move with Ugas. See, they're playing chess. They're taking them out of commission to spite Earl for that. People think it's about Ugas. It's not about Ugas. It's about
Earl
not
and Bud.
allowing Spence or Bud to be claimed number one, especially since he left Bob Arum.
Yeah, I think it's about all of 147. They just want to disrupt the flow of things that's happening because they know that the best of the best is going to come down to Spence and Crawford. Because people talk about Ugas, Ugas beating Crawford in the amateurs. All right, that's the amateurs, nigga. This ain't Ugas ain't getting ready to fuck with either one of them at this point. And I think we've seen that, especially with this Sean Porter showing. So,
And then Ugas can't afford to fight dudes with his fucked up arm as is.
Yeah.
I ain't forget that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Because, Stan Jonas will fuck around and do him like Canelo did Caleb Smith and fucking punch his bicep open and shit.
And
so
next thing you know, he a champion in recess, or they just gonna strip that nigga.
One thing I was worried about, though, I think I put it on Twitter. I was saying that I was saying that if Spence fought Ugas and got the WBA strap, I think the WBA would transfer the liability of those two mandatories over to Spence to fuck up the Crawford fight anyway. So that's why I think that Ugas just need to go ahead and sacrifice himself for the good of boxing or fucking vacate that shit, stand back, let Butav and Stan Jonas fight each other, let Virgil Ortiz Jr. fight the winner like I know he's probably going to, and then one of them beat up Virgil Ortiz Jr. and then we get the fight in 2-3 years max.
Nigga, Ugas already on Twitter. I don't know if it's the Google Translate or whatever, but the nigga already said, man, these workouts ain't like how I used to be back in the day. I'm an old man now.
Yeah, I'm worried for him because I know he wouldn't.
Nigga said, nigga, I'm getting old in these streets, nigga. I've been boxing for a long time.
Who said that?
Ugas said he's basically said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said basically the workouts is getting harder. It's not like back in the day where you just,
And they know it. He's 36 years old. He's got 4 losses. He's fought some of the best people at welterweight. He's trying to finish off one big payday unification opportunity. And losing to somebody you're supposed to lose to is cool. You fuck around and lose to Stan.
Yeah, I mean he's 36 on paper.
Your whole legacy is in question. You fuck around and lose to some damn Stan Jonas, and then they're gonna make Stan Jonas the fucking triple G of 147 and shit. So it's just like, oh my god.
I just want to see the best fight the best, man. I want to see some King of the Hill shit. Errol Spence is the prime person that says I'll fight everybody. You know what I mean? Jamel Charlo, I'll fight everybody. None of these guys are dancing around trying to fight for the vacants, maneuvering, trying to get the easiest, path of least resistance fights. I just don't respect that. Like, I respect Canelo's skills, but I don't respect this tightrope walk. You know what I mean? Walking on eggshells, scared to crack because you don't want to fight the people, the fight that people say are the toughest. There's no reason he shouldn't fight Benavidez at 168 when he's holding Benavidez's belt that he felt because he lost on the scale.
Well,
if Benavidez is counted as number one, then they should fight. You know what they said? Oh, he's no reason for him to fight Benavidez right now. You know what I mean? No reason to fight because Benavidez don't have anything to offer. What? This is
Canelo's
so disgusting about boxing.
Legacy, black legacy.
It's about clearing of division for real, not trinket belts. Clearing the division of the best. All you gotta do is beat Benavidez, and you the best. Just because you got undisputed don't mean you the best. Josh Taylor, I think Gary Antoine Russell was the best one, 140. Josh Taylor fought all best available people. He did what Canelo didn't do. You know what I mean? He fought the people with the belts and he came out on top. You know what I mean? To clear that division, though, I say he got to fight Gary Antoine Russell. And Tank, in order for Tank to be the best, he got to fight Devin. He got to fight Tio. He got to fight Loma. He got to fight those. I don't care about Ryan and Rowley because, though, to me, they still got prospect, skills. You know what I mean? They're not even refined yet, so I don't care about them. But I need to see
Tank
Tank fight
getting dropped by Luke Campbell
and Cambosis. Yeah, man.
I don't think Tank got to fight Teofimo to prove he's the best at 130.
Well, I said the clear. In order to say you truly clear out a division, you have to fight the best. You could, you know what I mean? In order to fight the best, you can't call yourself the best and this person say, I want to fight you. And everybody saying, well, this person was the top. Now, to me, I never had Tio as a pound for pound, but because people are saying this, because he beat Loma, whatever the case may be, I need for me, everybody may have their own different opinion, but that's what I'm saying. The best got to fight the best. That's why Hagler, Hearns, and Leonard was so special. Hagler, Hearns, and Duran was so special. The best always fought the best.
As long as Tank fight Kambosos now, Haney, and Lomachenko, that's pretty much it for me. There's really not much else there. Teofimo is, come on.
I want to see Tank knock him out. I need Tank to sleep him.
Yeah, with all due respect to Teofimo, he's cool, but he was never the good. He was in a Lomachenko situation. He beat a hype train, and then he inherited that hype, and then he lost it real quick. And Lomachenko's his hype came from the fucking amateurs because he was an adult.
You and I see this. We see this
beating up teenagers.
We see this, but the industry and the propaganda media who like to artificially anoint, they're going to constantly say Tio. They still got Tio in there pound for pound, for God's sake.
I think from Tank's injury, Teofimo Lopez would be a better comeback fight. Especially if he gets past his legal issues without having to take too much time off next year. I'm
not concerned about his legal issues, to be honest with you. That's why I never talk about them, because look at what happened with not Povetkin. What's the Russian name that
Kovalev?
Look at Kovalev. He broke the girl's neck, broke her nose, beat the dog. What happened to him? What happened to his legal issues? And didn't prevent the fight, and the media forgot about it. I didn't make videos about that. So my thing is, I think in Tank's situation, if the legal issues were that stunning, we know what happened. He was driving and, the hit and run and then leaving the same. Trust me. And the person, it was hurting, all of that. They're going to make that go away. I never really talk about their personal issues. To me, it's about the best. So when it comes to Tank, I always keep talking, moving forward as though those issues are not there until they present themselves. Like with Floyd. Floyd was on his move. Remember, Floyd fought Cotto right before he went to college. You know what I mean? And he fought and he beat Cotto better than what Canelo beat Cotto. He beat Cotto at Cotto's style, that doghouse style. You know what I
Tank is
mean? Because he
black,
knew he was taking
so
out his frustrations before he went away.
Yeah,
Tank
but
is
I
black,
get
so
what you're saying,
I'm
Beehive, too. I get
concerned.
what you're saying. Yeah, because he's,
I'm
you know,
yeah,
Kovalev is white. You
I'm
know,
concerned that it's gonna fuck up Tank's 2022, and because I like I said,
but,
I want
you
Tank to
know,
come back and
we
get
do
over
live
it.
we
Baltimore,
live in a
Black
black and
City,
white
brother.
society,
They
but
ain't gonna Tank ain't gonna do no jail time.
look, we live in a black and white society, but green is a color that is very important in the society as well. You understand me?
Tank is from Baltimore, Black Mayor, Black City, Black establishment.
Green
Trust me,
dollars.
Black. Yeah. Green
Yeah,
green dollars.
that
They
DA
know
didn't
if
do
they
that
the
DA didn't
Ravens
do
are
anything
behind
for the
Tank.
cops that
Everybody, the
killed Freddie
Orioles are
Gray.
behind Tank. So there's no way in the world that they're going to mess up the train that's going on right now, especially like you said, like y'all know, like they let Kovalev just skate through after breaking a woman's neck.
Why y'all think Tank out here giving turkeys and shit? You know, my man
Yeah,
gonna get a smooth probation time.
I hope so.
It's going to be a no contest. He's going to plead no contest. He's not going to get any jail time, and like you said, he's going to get probation.
The only thing that worries me
And
though is
and
that
a hefty fine.
And he's going to pay
worries
millions to
me.
those people.
The only thing that worries me though is that they might, because much like AB, he has a little bit of previous history. They might try to rehash his, because usually the first time offender thing works, but now with this they might try to rehash some of his old previous history, try to use that against him
Man,
because
ain't
that
nothing a little money can't fix, and he ain't out
Yo,
here
I
saying,
that's what
and he's not
I just
out
don't
here
even
saying,
worry about that, man.
look,
It don't even come to mind.
and he's not out here saying, and my people been fighting 400 years to this day. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're viewing Tank as a real life threat yet.
Yeah, he's not carrying the Wilder torch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They wanted to silence Wilder just because he was that pro. You know what I mean? Pro black.
and the heavyweight division is very heavyweight division can be taught in American history class. Just how connected that is with just cultural and our history.
Different rules for different people.
Now,
man,
so
heavyweight is looking real dry right now. I mean,
it
I know
is looking
Wilder.
real dry. But
I know Wilder's still in it,
You
but
notice Wilder posted a 15-second clip with Kevin Hart. Everybody talking about how much they miss him and love Wilder.
I
They talk
miss
about
him.
that
I
shit
miss
way
him
more than they
dearly.
talk about Fury. Ain't that crazy?
yeah, who we got a heavyweight right now? Fucking Hergovic and shit.
Yeah.
Fury is still not the star that they try to talk about. Remember, without Wilder, Fury is selling 3,000 tickets and giving away 3,000 comps. You know what I'm saying? So without Wilder, Fury has not done anything to prove that he's a star. Now, I always felt like he was talented, whatever the case may be, but they're making it seem like he's something that he's not. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with his first fight after Wilder. I want to see his first fight in the United States. I don't want to see it. I want to see what he's going to do in America and see if people come out and support it.
I want to know if he's going to wear the same path and sport gloves. That's all I want to know.
He not. He not. I'm surprised. I'm surprised he wears a German brand, to be honest, because I know Dillian White's goofy ass always wears those fly sport gloves because that's a UK brand. So does Jared Anderson, weirdly enough. But all the UK fighters wear that shit. But no, he ain't. I don't think he gonna wear Patton Sports. And that's when it's gonna expose it. Because like I said, if Tyson Fury don't wear those same gloves in every subsequent fight, we know what it is. And we know what it is.
Exactly. And I only got one. I'm very curious just to see his next fight, so I will tune into that. And I damn sure ain't giving them my money though.
Yeah, I'll stream that bullshit.
But yeah, I gotta end the show, man. I gotta give me some sleep. I go to this post office.
Okay, my brother.
Hoodies
y'all
in the
have
AM.
a good one.
All right.
But shout out to you guys.
All right.
On to the next one. We're gonna talk about Lomachenko here fight pretty soon. Might do a watch party for that. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, thank you. Peace.
All right.